¿Qué pues, pinche gringo mamón? Si tengo mi green card.
Thanks for...
¿Qué pues, pinche gringo mamón? Si tengo mi green card.
Thanks for your collaboration. And remember, don't come back again.
Y el gringo nos quiere cobrar el muro. Dile que no, pinche gringo racista. Pues no te pagaremos nada.
Wait a minute, please.
Somos gente honrada y...
And then, welcome back to the Truther Cast, home of the Truther Cast. We are here to take your truth order. I don't know if I shared it out to all the peoples, but yeah, hopefully you're here, man. If you're coming back and you're a frequent flyer of the show, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for hitting the old subscribe, follow button there, right down there on the bottom of that Rumble. If you haven't made an account yet, what's wrong with you, man? Then I wouldn't have to send it out to you individually every week. If you are not familiar with the show, we are attempting to not just be two more dudes complaining on the internet, putting funny video memes up on the old interwebs of Donald Trump and the current events of what's going on, but we've got a shtick here, folks. And the shtick here at Truthercast is not only that awareness brings the realization, right, Mr. Dan?
Correct. That is the main. And what is the second?
The second one is to build a better news feed. I talk to people all the time about this because I don't believe in that bullshit, that propaganda that you're not supposed to talk about religion and politics with people. That's how you have a nation fall apart and collapse and shit. So I love dropping breadcrumbs and talking to this shit with people when, I get the vibe that they're okay with talking about it. But when I tell them all the crazy shit that I have found out throughout the over 20 years of being a crazy alt news conspiracy theorist, they usually go, where the hell did you find that out? And the best thing I've come up with, folks, is I've built a better news feed. So if you haven't done that yet, that's what we're going to help you do tonight. So we're going to go through last week's events and show you some other, like-minded alt news kind of independent creators, citizen journalists and whatnot. And then you could follow them as well, something on the YouTube, the X, the Rumble. But you got to build a better news feed, folks, right? And, maybe you got a good one already, but maybe we show you someone you haven't heard of. But the other thing that helps is when you help someone build a better news feed. So you can go on over to truthercast.com, you go up to the resources page, and you go to that alt news creators list. And it's a little list we put together, so you can help pull that up and help someone else build a better news feed. But that's what we're all about here, folks. And we're going to go through the news here because we got Mr. Dan in the house. Woo! And we got Mr. Justin over here as well.
Woo-woo.
And we might be able to get everybody on the key.
Oh, whoa.
Technology.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
It's awesome when you just use your hand and that technology functions well. If you're in the live chat right now, let us know if the audio is like C, B, or A quality. I'm really going for A quality tonight. I mean, like every episode gets better, right?
That's how it's supposed to go. Does it always? I think we're at least a 95% hitting average,
You're right.
Yeah. We got some okay stats when it comes to the baseball card.
You said we were getting like 200 views an episode, so it can't suck too bad.
Yeah. It seems like they are generally at least averaging around 200. So, that's
50% is probably
it's like a whole lot more people than we have here. Like, imagine if we did this and there was just a room of 200 live people to hear us.
That's more than the friends I have.
That would be almost bigger than Kill Tony's live audience. That would be
that's
insane.
a huge one, right?
Absolutely wild.
Absolutely wild, folks. Just like when you make sure to help us out here and to keep the lights on, check out that links in the description box down below. We're going to tell you how to join the locals community so you can be in a, like-minded kind of community. It's not big tech censored. So, it's a great place to hang out and consume the weekly updates. But also, if you join the Locals Primo Squad, you can use the promo code Better News Feed, save yourself some monies. But if you got a couple schmeckles to throw our way to help keep the lights on, that is a good way to do it, because then you could post throughout the week with us or for us and tell us your informational tidbits that you find through the week you think we should cover on the show. So make sure to click on that locals.mastash.com. If you got a computer and you want some like-minded tech guy help out, click on that signup.toleratetech.com down below. That's my company, Revival Tech, and I love to help you out, protect the computer, help you not be all pissed off at it, all of that business. And Mr. Dan will tell you how to not be a hoe.
Hey, hoes, listen up. Share it. It's easy as that. Be a hoe. Share the show.
Dan likes hoes, so he doesn't want to help you not be a hoe. I'm confused.
No hoage around, but I will promote the hoe culture.
Well, hoes aren't getting deported, so I think you're safe, brother.
Ah, yes. Love to hear I'm in the safe waters.
Yeah, child rapists and women rapists and like drug traffickers get deported. Everyone is like happy,
Well,
but like if you started deporting hoes,
let's
might be a little blowback
play, what's that? What was the actual name of it? The To Be a Millionaire, They asked all the questions.
Yeah.
And the question was, if we could deport 3 out of the 4, and we had 4 options, and hoes was one of them, and the rest was sex traffickers, drug traffickers, and terrorists, rapists, murderers. I think hoe would be at the very last of the list. And it looks like we at least have our heads on that much straighter in America now. Thank goodness. We're hoping for it. It's not clear waters looking that way exactly. It's not Fiji over here, but it's if only. Well, then there's controversy into that because we find out all the people holding the water for California are some big stakeholders in Fiji waters. So
Yeah, talk about not Fiji.
I gotta look. I've definitely been much a better supporter of Evian over Fiji since I I found those little tidbits out. I'd even support death water over,
No,
Oh, yeah,
liquid death.
Liquid death,
What's the
yes.
debacle with that? I heard there's like, there's like they're going viral for like being a bad company all of a sudden or something.
I didn't hear about this.
I'm not sure
Yeah, I
about
didn't look
that.
into it. It was like a
I
headline. So,
think
not
The
confirmed.
the only thing that was kind of like a in the past couple of years that me and a buddy noticed was because I have a buddy that drinks like he might as well be sponsored by him. He noticed that the bottling source had changed. And generally, you find better water outside the United States in some certain places. That's where it was coming from. And then all of a sudden, it was getting sourced in the United States. And then, I mean, not saying all. There's some of the best water sources. There are a few in the United States that make really good water. But as we know, there's been some just totally super crazy accidental train derailings and all these weird like total accidents that happen and chemicals just leach into all of our groundwater. So you got to be a little careful, more careful nowadays. But for the most part, is the research I did not thorough, but a little bit looks like where they are getting their water now, which is in the U.S. for liquid death, is
No, for Fiji.
still fine. No, for liquid death.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, they I think it's in Virginia somewhere and maybe South Carolina where they were finding their water. I
Well,
can't remember exactly.
That's the Arizona tea guy anyway, right?
You might want to get all up in your mic, bro.
That's the Arizona tea guy anyway.
You could pull it
anyway,
closer.
right?
Maybe.
I'm pretty
I don't-
sure.
I don't know.
Liquid death is Arizona tea, yeah.
I don't
no
think
shit?
so.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but
No,
maybe.
seriously.
Yeah, I know but from what I heard,
thought-
this guy was doing it as a joke. At first, he didn't think it was going to be successful, and then they started it and put out because he actually made the advertisement for it before he even had the water made. He was like, "Let's see if it
Google
hits."
says
And then
it's just a guy.
everybody
he's his
started
founder?
liking it. So he was like, "Oh heck yeah, start up production, let's go!" And then they have now become $1 billion water company.
Mike Cesario.
Mike Cesario.
This is a great example of no one needs the shit you're selling.
But if you can
It's
make
just
it,
the story, bro.
if
That
you
people
can
buy
make
your
it
story.
look and sound appealing, the people will buy it.
This is what I teach in my marketing, my like small business marketing consultation. It's like people just buy the story, man. So you just got to tell your story. Let's be truthful and honest. Let's not just make up stories because that's called, snake oil salesman. But
Yeah. But I would
people buy
say
your story, not
this
just
guy's got a long ways to go if he's going to be on Arizona Tea CEO
Uh,
status because,
bro.
as we know, he held strong during the inflation time.
Okay, hold on. Not to take anything away from this guy, Mr. Mike Cesario. Okay,
Okay.
and not to take anything away with the story, because you got to have a story to get investors usually, right?
Oh, sure.
But call me crazy. I think the bigger reason of why they might be successful may be because of this list of investors. My goodness, Live Nation. I don't know Josh Brolin. That sounds familiar though.
No.
Who's DeAndre Hopkins, Jim Jeffries, but Swedish
DeAndre
House
Hopkins is
Mafia.
like a football or basketball player.
Okay, sports guy.
Yeah, sports
Swedish
guy.
House Mafia is gigantic. I know
Whitney
them. They're like
Cummings.
house music. Whitney Cummings is huge. Wiz Khalifa is gigantic. Tom Segura, gigantic. Tony
Tony
Hawk is like
fucking
epic.
Hawk,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Gary Vanderchuk is like niche epic.
Yeah.
What he
Like
do?
you might not know who
Well,
he is.
Gary started off in the wine world, and he made millions off wine, and then
From using marketing skills.
yeah, and
Oh.
then now he's just turned himself into a marketing company, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
what's really hit it big now. And he's actually mostly just about like self improvement, from like how to grow your business, stuff like that.
Personal business development kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
No way.
Oh, he had a series where he just literally went around to garage sales. And like I can't imagine being the person with the garage sale and like these like two black Suburbans pull up. You're like, hey, did I actually put the thing on the lot? Like, why are they here?
Am I in
then,
trouble?
And then all of a sudden, if you are on social media and you recognize Gary Vaynerchuk, you're like, holy shit, it's Gary. And then he shows up with like,
That'd be wild.
he's just like a total normal t-shirt, jeans, tennis shoes. And so you don't think he's like really anybody unless you know who he is.
One of
except
them
for-
low-key
yeah,
millionaires.
except for like the camera crew behind him, and you're just like,
Yeah,
this doesn't
right.
seem like a normal shopper to my garage sale. But then he goes out there and he garage sales, finds like old baseball cards, just all sort like an old teddy bear, just things
Yeah.
you wouldn't.
He does
just
like
shows-
thrift fix and flipping and
he
making
shows
content.
you can then up sell it on eBay or whatever and make actually
But that was just like
thousands
a
of dollars.
He's
a
like,
month
actually, this
just-
teddy bear is worth $500.
Yeah, he's
kinda
like,
stuff.
if you really just want to make some, like, it's all about, you just got to grind. So you got to find something, you put into it, you keep grinding, and you just go out, hit all these garage sales, you will find something, and you will make an ROI.
So that guy invested in that water company. Hot damn. Yeah.
I did not know that.
No shit, that thing was successful. Yeah. So
It's almost like we just became more aware yet again. I have more realization.
Look at us.
Hey, man, that's why we like looking things up here on the Truther Cast. That's what it's all about, and that's what I think people don't do is actually just take the small amount of effort to look something up.
Oh wow, really? Bison are they're heavily in Illinois now. I just never would have thought. I heard it from this one guy the other day. So
Hey.
I'm just going around telling people that.
So I got a good one. So today,
There are
scrolling
no
on the
bison in
Facebook,
Illinois.
a friend of mine posted on Facebook that usually either doesn't post or Facebook's like, no, you don't want to see that because they're like super anti-Trump, right?
Okay.
So that post comes up in the feed for some strange reason, and it's a screenshot of like a comparison of like Project 2025 like highlights, and then Trump EO like executive orders that he's done highlights, right? And it's like, and she says, "See, I knew it. See, look, it's Project 2025. Trump's doing Project 2025 just like I said that it was going to happen." And I'm like, well, first off, you didn't invent that concept. Like the television actually came up with that concept.
Yeah.
Because you had no idea what the hell Project 2025 was until the TV told you. Because I had no idea what Project 2025 was till the TV made the new Hive Mind upload, and then they started squawking about 2025. So then on the show, we actually looked it up live and was like, yeah, we don't know what the hell it is either. So let's just pull up their website. Let's go straight to the source.
Yep.
And long story short, I can't wait to see what it is because she's pretty like freak out anti-Trump. So I'm like, I hope to God she can have like a real conversation with me because like, I was like, hey, well, actually, and then I said what I'm saying here. And it's like, well, no, dude, we looked it up. We didn't know what it was. Now, it's like saying what? Hitler likes coffee.
Oh, no.
You like coffee,
Oh,
so you're Hitler. Like
Oh
that's
my
ridiculous, right?
goodness.
Sure.
So we looked up 2025, and some of the things we'd agree with. It was like deport, criminal people, and specifically criminal aliens, and like blah, 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 a couple other things. But then when we were looking into it, some of the stuff's also like a little bit extreme. Like they wanted to like full ban porn, all porn illegal. Where it's like, I see where you're coming from, like holistic person, but like freedoms, like people do what you want to do, da da da. Then it's like, well, clearly his Project 2025 was not what he was doing. It was not connected to him in any way. But if you pull up his real thing that the television didn't tell you about,
You
he had this website where he had this list on it. Guess what?
It
It's called
was-
Agenda 47.
Yeah,
And it has a lot of the similar things.
He like
as
had an
what-
actual place with his name on it of like what he was looking to do. Imagine that. Not this 2025 that didn't have Trump's name anywhere on it or JD Vance,
Right.
even though they're trying to then tie him into it.
Right. Or a Kamala website that doesn't have anything on it.
Yeah.
Like,
God forbid if we were to show one thing of Nazi agenda that lined up with Kamala's line of what she wanted to do. Oh, that's just one. Even though it looked the exact same, and it's a one-way street, and that's Orange Man is evil.
And then that's where like the left has their conspiracy theory of craziness too, because then they'd be like, we're like, no, 2025 is not Trump's thing. The thing on his website is his. No, the 2025 thing is a secret plan that he's gonna. Yeah, maybe, but like,
Like y'all guys
That's
are
a
wannabe
theory,
conspiracy
like-
theorists that are bad at it.
yeah.
Or maybe he just wants to do what he says he wants to do.
Yeah, right, dude. And then, I mean, honestly, I'm all like, yay,
Well, not
Trump. like-
everything in the 2025 also was horrible. There were
That's what I'm
some
saying.
things that were not bipartisan, but some other
like
things
deport
like
the illegal immigrants. like-
logical things to make America better for
Right.
its citizens,
Mhm.
not just the people that want to come in.
That's what's tricky. It's like, yeah, no, you can't just say like this was bad. And then I was like, so what part of it do you think is bad? Because like all the things in that screenshot you posted,
I like all
our
those.
side's like, yeah, those were all a great idea. Like,
Have you heard the argument on how people are defending the immigrants and they're like they're hardworking people and they pay their taxes and this and that? Hold up. Okay, you obviously just stated a fact where You don't know what you're talking about.
That's like a broad assumption, right?
Okay.
How do you pay taxes if you don't have a Social Security?
And
Right.
if you're that scared because ICE still exists during Biden's administration, so you don't want to put yourself on the map to just, them find you and get deported. Yeah, I'm not well aware at all that you can pay taxes without an address. And they're not going to put an address where they can at least get found. Even if they put a fraudulent address, no,
Well, just
they're
like
not
voting.
out there paying their taxes. The only way they're paying their
But just
taxes
like
in the
voting,
nation is they pay sales tax when they go buy things with
They
the
put, like-
cash that they get paid because
put,
there
like, the
is no
homeless
pay.
shelter out
There is
there.
no electronic trail for that.
Right. They just put like one home on it, just like voting. 'Cause
Well,
voting, they had addresses.
Even in Illinois, as an illegal immigrant, you could get a state ID
And you
for
could become a
many,
cop
many years. Yeah.
nowadays.
In Illinois.
During the last 4 years, they
And I
made it to
remember
where you
voting
can't.
in
become
2016,
a cop.
and in Boone County, they were requiring 2 forms of ID to keep illegal immigrants from voting because they had state IDs. They're like, all right.
That's
another-
one way to combat it, unless you're California.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I posted about this because this is pretty like effing like important and then specifically important to me. But you know that number that was floating around where they lost 350,000 children under Biden admin, right? So Trump already found like 60, 70,000 of them, and it's been like 5 days.
Where they find them at?
Like they popped like human trafficking rings, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, they went to like ICE goes like, oh, we're gonna go to this place where we know there's a bunch of illegals. Oh, guess what? We found all these children that were missing.
All the kids.
It's,
wow.
it's almost like they've been trying to do their jobs
God.
the last 4 years, but they were told they
Not to go over
can't,
there.
otherwise
Yeah.
they won't have a
On
job.
purpose.
And now
It's
they're
insane,
able to
bro.
do their job because they already have had the information. Now they're
Oh,
like,
there they are.
the
Right,
dogs are
right.
like, the hunting dogs are like, oh, can I go get the bird now? Like, oh, now I've seen it, Dad, for the last 5 minutes. Like, you've been blind. Can I get it? And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, you can finally go get it there, dog.
Yeah, we're okay. Here's one. So, do you guys remember that piece that was going around? That was about the Jewish. What do you call it? Like, it's not a church, right?
The
Head of the Jewish child cult leader Lev Tahor. So there was like Lev Tahor. I think it was in New York, and they had the underground tunnel thingy.
Yeah.
Remember, like last week when we accidentally pulled up the clip, and you were like, "Did we ever find that out?" 'Cause the guy was like popping out of the manhole in the sidewalk or some
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
right? So they just found the guy.
Is he Mexican?
They just like found the guy.
Oh, he definitely looks
If he's wanted, you got to be doing some really crazy stuff to be wanted by Mexico for
You're right.
human trafficking.
For crime.
Is he a Hispanic guy? Right? He looks like a Hispanic guy, kind of.
He looks like a actual Jewish or a want to be a Jewish man.
Hard to say.
But just like Christianity, bro. So this is no knock on like Judaism as a whole. Like, hey, don't ban me, YouTube. But like, yeah, this dude was leading this sect of Jewish dudes that were like totally a child sex cult, where they were like, trafficking children. So like, bam, they popped him, dude. How did they bring down this many things in 5 days? Like the only answer is like you said, they were like being told not to, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they finally let the dogs off the leash.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. I don't know. This one's entertaining.
Are you afraid of being mistaken or outed as a white supremacist? Doctors say Americans accidentally make Nazi salutes 6 to 8 times a year. That's why we've made Shoulder Lock, the safe way to stop your arm from exceeding the crucial Sieg Heil threshold. Allow me to demonstrate. I'm going to think the most racist thing I can, but it looks like I'm patting a small child on the head or perhaps assessing the height of a penguin, not a Nazi salute. But don't take my word for it.
Thanks to Shoulder Lock, nobody knows my secret.
What if someone makes an ambiguous gesture which could be a Nazi salute? We prescribe Don't Assume It All. When you're on Don't Assume It All and there's ambiguity, you err on the side of basic human decency. Side effects may include friendship, calm Thanksgiving dinners, and sharing a country with people with whom you disagree. What if you have emotional problems and you don't have sufficient data to argue with people about politics on policy issues? Well, in that case, we recommend a glass of Shut the F*** Up.
These guys are doing the Lord's work out there.
Yeah, man. Usually we do these at the end. Did you get the update?
I seen him upload, but I was sleeping.
So the ATF tried to outright defy the nationwide vacatur of the pistol brace rule, and they claimed that they could still treat brace pistols as SBRs. But now the Trump administration is taking back control, so we need to talk about what happens now going forward with this pistol brace issue.
Yeah, permanent nationwide block of short-barreled rifle ban, blah, 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 shut down. So this is our good friend of the show, Mr. Arms Scholar. Definitely go and follow him if you like pew news.
He's a lucky guy. You see how many subscribers he had? 777K.
Oh,
he
that's
better
what's
go
up.
roll them slots, I guess.
Oh, yeah, slots, brother. He's pretty cool, man. And then he also is sponsored by First Form, which is Andy Frisella's company. We love them too. So definitely go and sub to Arms Scholar over on YouTube for pew updates, man. It's definitely worth it, in my humble opinion, if you care about
Keep
your
you
rights.
pretty up to date of the court cases happening in 2A related genres.
Because he's a lawyer, man, right?
Yep, he's a lawyer
He's a
by
lawyer
trade,
man
does
himself.
the YouTube off to the side.
And he's involved with some of the big cases.
Yeah,
once in a
no,
while.
his-
Like, he's not top level, but he's like one
of the cases that was really big this past year that was going through the California courts, I believe. Yeah, he had direct hand in writing up the lawsuit. Yep. So thank you to him doing the elbow grease. A little bit of hard work. My two favorites are him and Washington gun law.
Dan's like,
Washington
my
gun
two
law.
favorite things in life are hard and work. That's it. Washington gun law. I was just watching one of him this week, and he said, "Yeah, you know how I've been telling you guys. One day you might wake up, you come to my channel, and it's Idaho gun law. Yeah, because Washington just did something else that was ridiculous. I forget what it actually was.
Yeah.
He was covering that one.
Yeah, you don't want to live there.
Nope. You'll either get stabbed by people that don't think they're part of society anymore, or you'll get some bad drugs, or you'll get shot by somebody even though they have the strictest gun laws.
You're right. Well, it's like Chicago, but the whole state, right? I mean, Illinois.
Illinois is bad too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it's definitely more Chicago.
Yeah, did we cover that one already? I don't. That might have been after the show. Yeah. That was after the show.
January 6th stuff.
Yep. Good call. Revoking security clearance for anyone that was involved in lying about the Hunter Biden laptop. Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should
you
have
go.
been done a while. Oh wait,
He took away.
how is that possible? Biden's laptop is a figment of imagination land.
Yeah.
It's totally not real. Hence why the feds raided people over it.
I can't believe that all went down, bro, because they didn't even say it is. They said it's probably.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even like, nah, we verified, certified, clarified, 100%. It's totally fake news, okay, guys? Like, it was like, it's probably, maybe, sort of, kind of.
It's fake, but it was logged into the evidence log in Congress. So
for like a year or two prior to
Yeah.
the whole entire event going
Yeah.
big.
It's the same as, Hunter Biden getting pardoned for crimes he committed and any other crime he might have committed in 10 years.
Right, man?
And
yeah,
Fauci
prior.
and everybody else getting pardoned, ahead of time.
Yeah, but Joe never pardoned himself, right?
Apparently still not, no.
And I feel like that's exactly what Barron said to him that wiped the smirk off his face in that one little clip that's been going around.
He probably gonna die before he ever spends a day in jail.
Quite well, he'll probably die, as in our good friend of the show, Hillary Schmillery, might make some calls and things might happen.
I think that guy's already knocking on death's door, kind of more so than somebody they'd have to kill.
I mean, he sure is, but
Yeah.
we know he's got loose lips in the wrong times,
yeah.
and they know that, and they don't want him to accidentally loose lip it up in some pretty critical moments, even though he's out of the door.
Apparently, Trolley's in the chat, and Miss Wilkinson has already declared him wrong. You're wrong, Trolley. You're totally wrong.
Hey, he's back. It's almost like he showed up not on the week of Trump's inauguration.
Yeah, where were you last week, Trolley? Were
Yeah,
you, like, crying, curled in a ball?
I believe you said we would be crying when Kamala got inaugurated, and
Right.
here we are.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How the
Jokes
turns
on
have
you.
tabled. The tables have always been turned in that direction, just they couldn't be figured out that they'd been turned.
Neil Tamir in the chat reminded me the post that my friend shared was like Project 2025 and Trump removed us from the World Health Organization and the Paris Accord Treaty, and I'm like, those are both good things. Like the
Yeah,
WHO is
they're
literally pushing the communist agenda, Project 2030, that you bring up a lot on the show,
Yep.
and they want us to be global citizens.
Yeah.
And
The
like,
who
that's
is
own nothing to be
is
everything,
just
right?
one step under of the WEF that
Right.
wants one world government,
Right.
smart cities, you to eat the bugs.
Right.
And depopulation is good for planet. So do your sacrifice and, screw off into the soil and die off, you silly human pig.
But the television told her it was good, so Trump's a bad man. And then the Paris Accord Treaty, that one's tough to argue technically, but the
Unless you have a
reason
lot of
is-
other foreign policy knowledge, economic knowledge, business knowledge,
There's never been a good
understanding.
Paris Treaty anyway, so
Yeah.
what are we worried
Right.
about?
Yeah.
The one I go with is economics. Is we've poured billions, I think, into it, and they have no like tangible success to be shown.
Yeah. You're talking
So it's
the
like,
it was like
So-
a
A Ponzi scheme?
because it's the
no, not
ecological
necessarily.
thing.
Yeah, it's an ecological thing. That's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah,
going
yeah.
for, yeah.
They're trying to be
And
like,
we,
woo woo.
and
help
we
us
did all
out.
the shit that we were supposed to do,
Right.
and nobody else did.
Right.
Yeah, and as far as I'm aware, a good point for that would be California, I thought, was the whole biggest leader in the green movement, yet they just demolished our atmosphere with more CO2 than our cars could have produced.
all the farting cows could ever made in the world. ever.
Yeah. Yep. So explain that one, new scum, Here we are. They're throwing just more tumbleweeds onto the fire, thinking they're throwing water.
Yeah, maybe we can fast forward to New Scum because we got some of that weekly roundup.
What is going on with the California fires right now, anyway?
Yeah.
They are
We're gonna
still
get there, we're gonna get
going.
there. No,
They're
they're all out.
Are they?
Yeah.
they
We-
are all out
Yeah,
now.
we got that one because Trump sat down with the mayor, bro, and it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, she goes.
Hold on, we'll
I
get
didn't
there, we'll get
know.
there.
Okay.
How the heck do the officials Trump? How the heck do officials impeach Trump for talking about Biden crime family syndicate and Biden pardon his entire family is not like any kind of news at all or anything? Like that don't make no sense, right? Like
Weird.
I just know it's gonna be so good. What toilet brush girl is out as White House spokesgirl for
Right.
the administration? She can finally stop not telling the people anything that doesn't matter.
What was
the
her
new
name?
one, I haven't memorized her names. Awesome. Cringe Jean Pierre, that one.
Oh,
yeah, that's
That
whatever.
was the
it is,
girl with the
something like-
afro.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's Kareem
Or
Jean Pierre, yeah.
Kareem Jean
Yeah, the
Pierre.
new girl,
some shit.
I can't memorize. I haven't memorized her name yet, but she already dropped some like press releases, bro. And they're just all.
So-
Yeah.
You talking about Pam? Is it Pam Bondi?
No, that one's
Or is
Attorney
she-
General.
Attorney
Yeah,
General.
she's
Yeah.
older, that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that lady's badass. She's coming at him. She'd be a good like possible like woman president where it'd be like, yeah, I'd give her a try, bro. She seems pretty
Pretty
she's-
alright.
Yeah. Like you want your president to kind of be like a dick.
Yeah.
You kind of want your like man president, right? You kind of want your like woman president to be a C word.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, if she's not laying down authority, she shouldn't be in the leadership.
Like you kind of want her to have some girl huevos, a little bit of backbone, a little bit of like, I'm kind of scared of her. She might be.
In the words of dear Teddy, speak softly yet carry big stick.
Yeah, that's a classic. My grandfather loved that one. What's this one about, man? He turned the tables.
Oh,
yeah.
this is to show how
Culture change.
yep. You become awakened and all of a sudden you're like, hey, no, I was never doing that. Check it out. I'm in the cool squad now.
Or you see your money go down and then
Yeah.
you awaken. You know what?
You're like, oh, you go woke, you go broke. Damn, I better if I want this money still.
Snoop said, "Oh shit, man! I think all my friends and all my followers have changed their opinions on Trump. So I think I'm gonna Mac Daddy flip flap on the Mac with the Trump man. Yeah, so I'm gonna go do this party for Mr. Trump, and hopefully nobody finds that video where I said anybody that does a show for Daddy Trump's Uncle Tom, because then they might find out I'm an Uncle Tom. Shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm gonna show up because the fans want me to be like on Trump now.
Brother, everything on the internet forever.
Yeah.
You can never find it.
Unless
Get rid of all of them.
it's
No way.
Democrat stuff that would show them and their dirty dealing.
Mm.
Then, the server place, the place where they have the servers and all that, they just like get burnt down in New York out of nowhere, coincidentally, and all that weird fun stuff.
You got a good remix here.
Oh yeah, you got to hear the music.
Deported.
Oh, that's exactly where when I hear that song, that's the first thing I ever think of.
That was the classic from that one.
Yeah, they're on the spinny thing, and the kids trying to not puke.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah, I
classic.
can't believe he pardoned 1,500 J6ers.
I didn't realize there were so many in there.
That's insanity. Well,
Like,
that doesn't mean they're all in jail. Pardon means I'm getting rid of the case and it's not even going to be on your shit. Commuted means, hey, you're in jail and I'm going to go ahead and call it good. You can leave.
Yeah.
You did your time.
Okay.
So the 1,500 people, a lot of them were already like let out.
That's what I wasn't sure with like how they did the headlines. I was like, were they all locked up or was it just people involved?
I
And
think a large majority.
he was personally pardoned.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was already out.
He's pretty funny. I like the guy that had
The lectern.
the speakers like speaking
Lectern guy.
thing.
Yeah.
that was
Yeah. That's just his title on Twitter. He has leaned into that. He didn't have a brand before. He's this lectern guy over on
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Good for him,
if
man.
it sticks,
He's
it
fun.
sticks. Roll with it.
Yeah.
It
He
ain't
was
a-
pardoned. Turned out the lectern was his the whole time.
You know, I specifically paid for this with my tax money.
Yeah, no shit, bro. Right?
Yeah, for real.
Technically, they were all just, looking at a building they paid for. Trump White House is working late into the night. Yeah, this is all right after the inauguration, so they were just popping off EOs and stuff like that.
Oh, dude, it's so great to have somebody with work ethic back in the office that
You'll
actually
love
can
that,
get things
right?
done.
Scott, we were watching the news earlier, and it said Trump got rid of nearly 15 inspector generals.
Yeah.
It was a news headline. Nearly 15.
worked.
I'm like, so 14?
Yeah. 14 and a half was one of the guys a paraplegic. He was in like, what do you mean nearly 15?
What do they even,
Wait,
what could they
wait.
even mean?
Is your news station slightly misogynist? Was one of them a woman? So it wasn't actually, they didn't count as a full person? Why is it nearly 15?
14
Like,
dudes and one lady.
Yeah, why nearly 15? Oh, because the people that are Trump deranged are going to go, whoa, well,
15.
I thought 14 was bad, but nearly 15's like 3 times as bad now.
Yeah.
Because it's like almost one more. That is absolutely horrible. I just can't believe it. I just now have to just like scream and cry myself to sleep because Trump is in office and he's going to ruin absolutely everything.
I get it.
Everybody's dying. All my trans friends are now dead.
Yeah, I mean, like, just, declaring facts of, like, dad's man and dad's woman doesn't mean trans person's gone. You're just like man or woman, dog. But, like,
He's just trying to get the creeps that
P's in between. I don't know, dog.
he's trying to get full-grown men trying to act like they're women to stay out of the girls' locker rooms, So because it's definitely not just where everybody is like above 18.
No.
Like he's gonna be in the girls'
YMCA and
where there's
stuff like that.
7-year-old girls and whatnot
Yeah.
also in there. No.
It probably comes down
No.
to, though, it's difficult because it's then calling people stupid again, which, hey, it's a difficult argument because then people
The
can
correct
defend it.
term
But-
is mentally
But
incapacitated.
that one's like offensive too on the other side, so hard to get a real discussion with someone, right?
Well,
Because,
I
like,
mean-
can't we say man and woman, and then whatever the F72 other genders you want are somewhere under these two hierarchical concepts, like, and then whichever of those ones you're under, go to that restroom so you're not an asshole and weird everybody out.
They make
With
some
under
of
those, cool, be like a pansexual couch, like flower box and wear cat outfits at night, fine. But if you got a pecker, you go to the men's room.
Or you go to the all gender one that you can lock and be by yourself.
Right. But then you make all of them all genders, so then it's confusing again.
Well, as far as I was concerned, every place should have every place.
It exists.
Or
It's
the
just
family
that
one,
one.
like just go to that one.
That's what I was.
No,
That's
for
what.
families.
That's what I was gonna say. No, have you
don't
ever?
have a family.
Have
You're
you
a
have you
pansexual.
ever looked at the sign? It has man, woman, and then little indication of baby. That's so. So whatever you are, that
Everybody.
bathroom works for you, right?
I mean, I guess.
The door,
family shows up. They don't have a restroom. Jiminy Christmas.
They got
well,
disabled
they have
spots
to
you can
wait
go
for the
to.
person to be done. It's a single serve. It's got a locked door, so one.
It's a self-serve.
Yeah, it's not
Okay,
everybody in at once.
I got it.
Sharing the one toilet.
Okay, I got it. So, if you've got you and your one pecker, and you go into the handicap restroom, and there's a handicap person that's sitting there waiting on your dumbass that didn't just go to the men's room, is that right or wrong?
I've been in a situation
Sometimes
before, but the
I like
men's
you to
room
say,
was
What
taken.
situation? Were you the handicapped one? Or?
I went into the handicap bathroom because the man's bathroom was taken, and the woman's bathroom was also taken. So I said, I'm gonna be quick, probably quicker than they might be. Me in and out. So I'm
So it's
sure.
a solo man's bathroom?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, we got 3 guys here.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's a
You
men's
never been to a place where it's just one toilet?
No, I don't believe in single men's bathrooms. So that's my point. So you walk into a men's bathroom, right? If you're a female, you should conceive this idea or have seen it before, but you walk in. Even if it's a single men's bathroom, there's 2 pissing devices.
Yep, urinal and a toilet.
Yep, you got a urinal and a toilet. So that there is never an individual men's restroom, in my humble opinion. I never lock the door when I go into a bathroom.
Nope.
Now, if I'm
If-
taking a deuce,
if
I'm gonna
they're
lock that door, bro, because I'm a little bit vulnerable. I'm in a
If you're
sitting
taking
position.
a deuce and there's no door on the stall.
Yes, no,
Then
that's,
you
a,
wanna
that's a
lock
lock.
the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
it becomes a one-man
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah,
okay?
obviously.
But if I'm taking a wee-wee, that's, that's like,
If-
like
well,
somebody
if-
else walks in and they go like, oh my gosh, I'm like, bro, there's one over there, dog.
if there's no separator and like how they normally are in those bathrooms with the urinal right next to the toilet,
Yeah,
no matter what
Come on
I'm
in, dog, you're
doing,
good.
I'm locking the door.
Sorry, I got the urinal. Though. You're gonna have to grab the toilet.
Privacy
dog.
is privacy, and there's only a few times in this free society that you actually have privacy, and that's one of them. So I'm going to flex that lock to have my privacy, to let off a whiz in peace instead of some guy coming in and trying to talk it up with you.
That's a great comment. Pop off right there, down below. So if you're hanging out live, I got a stutter. So yeah, chat down below. Maybe leave a comment if you're watching later on the replay. What do you do when you walk into a single men's bathroom with a toilet and urinal? Do you lock the door immediately and just hog it all to yourself, or is somebody else about to pee their pants? They can bust on in there just because you taking a pee.
You're a nice guy. Yeah.
Like let me know. Other than that, do you guys think that now that we have a Trump man in office, now that people are starting to use their voice on the interwebs, and we've got representatives that are kind of sort of maybe starting to listen to us, do you think we're actually going to be able to push some kind of an investigation at minimum at Tony Fauci, even though he's been pardoned, he's not completely off the hook?
I mean, the thing I would do if it didn't cost a bunch of money is be like, yeah, this is what he did, and this is all the shit he actually did. We can't get him in trouble, but look what he did.
Right? And then like
Yep.
maybe we could like squeak some other pig below him that didn't get a pardon,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
you know?
Right. Yep.
Like I feel like you just go to the next guy down.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Call me crazy.
Side note, really quick. Troll, stop being a bigot.
Oh no, not the bigot, man.
Oh,
The
yeah.
troll box. Oh man, he's making walls
Li- li-
text again.
Yeah, literally
saved it all up from last
showing his
week, huh?
bigotness very, very highly. But that's okay. That's what we have him here for, so he can expose himself to the authorities like he does every week.
What you doing?
What a scaredy cat. Just being a bigot.
Yeah. He's basically trying to make us look like we should be caught up, even though he's catching himself up. But he doesn't
You need to
understand that.
explain it, bruh.
Well, I mean to him, because maybe then he'll understand how ignorant his brain actually works.
We
But
figure
I
out
mean,
it doesn't
it's
week to week, but,
quite
you know.
possibly not ever going to happen. Yeah.
So could this possibly be the smoking gun man? So in his veto letter, Governor Gavin Newsom admits that he literally vetoed the California fireproofing bill, not because we don't need it, but just because it would ruin his plan to force people into the cities. I would add in the word 15-minute city, right? But
Yep.
that's a conspiracy theory that's actually just said that that's what they want to do because it's called Smart LA, right?
Yep.
But like, I think that's kind of like the smoking gun, bro. So can we actually get representation here to like freaking like take this guy to Congress or something, like sue the guy or something?
I just, if people just started following the money, they realized they would vote him out very quick. He has laundered billions of dollars into his own pocket. They've spent like 30, 40 billion on the homelessness problem in LA.
45 billion they got of our tax money from the federal government, and not a dime has any track record either. Like, not only do they have nothing to show for it, but they can't track it.
Yeah. It almost sounds
That don't
like
make
that
no
should
goddamn
be
sense.
illegal and they should be locked up
Yeah,
for a long time.
I mean, like, if you embezzle money or misappropriation of funds, usually you get in trouble as a company. So, like,
Yeah. New York Trump case.
yeah, right. Is
Yeah.
that what they're trying to get Daddy Trump all over
Yep.
New York, right? That fell apart, though, right, Trolley?
Yep.
Never really went anywhere there, buddy.
Yep. Fell all apart. He's been told from the courts that he is not a felon, and people are still saying that we have a convicted felon as our president. Obviously, they do not know how to read. Just ironic.
That's clear,
I thought you couldn't get elected anyway if you were a felon.
Elected for what?
Office. Any kind of office.
I think they were trying to say that, but it's not actually true. So then it was just like a character assassination attempt kind of thing.
Yeah, I can't remember what I learned in AP Gov Econ back then. I'd have to refresh the memory.
Yeah.
But I mean, the main thing is I didn't care because I could see that he wasn't a felon. You know,
This was
it would be a good thing to be able to shoot back though.
if that other video didn't explain the whole, like, Elon was not actually given a Zeke Heil, right?
He was giving his heart to the crowd.
This might
what he
explain it
said.
too, because a Tesla engineer is going to break it down for us here.
Engineer here. I'm going to be breaking down this video from the inauguration. I'm not sure what the hubbub is all about. I'm a scientist, and what really matters here is the angle. Now, the danger zone here is about 135 degrees. We can see that right here.
This is for our analytical / autistic people in the crowd, okay? Let's break it down here.
Okay, now, in Euclidean terms, this is what we call the Nazi index, right? If you have an angle, any angle that goes beyond 135 degrees, then boom, you are a Nazi. But here, we have not reached that index yet. We're not in that space yet. However, anything above 135 should be considered in support of the Third Reich. I'm talking about things like futons, reclining beach chairs, the time 250 on a clock. All of those are Nazi propaganda. Elon, however, does not reach that far. Now, not only that, but look at the inverted parabola of the mouth here, right? With someone with genocidal beliefs, we would expect at least 10 degrees of additional concavity in the frown. We don't have that. Instead, anybody who's studied 101 geometry knows this. Instead, we obviously have an upside down smile, right? An upside down smile. So clearly, I don't really know what the hubbub is about. Also, this is just a one-off thing, as you can see from this video.
So, I mean, I think that clearly explains it, man. I don't know. I'm pretty analytical and slightly autistic, so, it worked for me.
They just see a hand pointing somewhat in the air. It'd be weird if you're like anywhere in New York and you have to post to like what building you work in or whatever. They're all doing it.
Right.
Like you have to raise your hand a certain height and look up
But
there.
maybe they don't do this, but then,
Anytime you hail a cab, anytime.
Yeah, it's almost like all these clips of it, they never play it with the sound and what was leading up to it. Oh, just like all of Trump's things where they clip a short sentence of what he said and say, look, take this item out of context and just think this is exactly what he meant. He said, I extend my heart out to all of y'all. And then he grabbed his heart, as you've seen, and then threw it out to the crowd. Obviously, he's not a big sports guy. And he was just thinking, like, I'm going to throw it as hard as I can over there. Like, obviously, I'm going to fully, and he's an engineer, so full extension of the arm with maybe a little follow through is going to get the best throw out there.
just being logical and sign languageable, just heart go out, heart go out.
Hitler goes straight down to straight up. If
His
you
PR
ever
person was
look it
like,
up.
Oh,
No.
Yeah. That's where I'll watch Trump saying stuff. It's like, oh, I can see now they're going to edit that up and make it look bad. But I mean,
You can't
yeah.
pins and needles.
Like you can't come up with, first off, if Trump would be like all the other lame presidents and write out and memorize this whole little speech beforehand. Instead, he goes out there and just wings it and just makes great.
Because they'd be like all the other losers.
Yeah,
right?
and then he would not do that, but he is just a regular old person that makes mistakes sometimes, and we're hoping he is not part of it and on our side, because for everything else, that's sure what it seems to be.
Do you see the hoods turning on the illegals even more? Because now there's a $750 bounty.
Oh man, look at that! They knew how to play the game. Whoever put that out there was smart.
ICE, they over there on Chambly and Buford. They always be at the farmers market over there on the south side at the big farmers market. Yeah, but Chambly, that's little Mexico, Chambly, Buford side, all that right there. Oh, they always be at the gas stations
I love how
too.
she's doing it with
all the
one eyelash still on there.
gas station, QT. They be at the QT when you get off on.
What? I couldn't even wait. $750. Oh, I was in the middle of taking my makeup off. Wait, hold on.
She was like, I was making an eyelash video.
Yeah.
You know, all of them are. And then all of a sudden, I saw this came across the feed. Hold on,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah, somebody with more money to pay me is asking for something, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Then I'll come back to this.
It was like, cancel the eye video.
Yeah.
I'm putting this out. That was killing me, bro. I was dying. I was like, oh man, you give people money and they'll turn real quick, man. It's shady business.
Yeah, ask our politicians.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We live in a world where doing this is more controversial than celebrities doing bad things with children.
Yeah.
They got way more press.
Yeah,
than,
it's
like,
almost
the Diddy thing
it's almost
or-
like there's a whole pack of people with a whole narrative behind a movement trying their hardest to make it be believed.
Almost like there's a conspiracy theory about. I don't know.
I can't say they're not doing that good of a job. They got Trolley convinced, and people like him. So
I know that's what sucks.
People
when you
that-
find out that like 40% of like America is like dumb enough
people
to
that
believe in
don't
anything
know
on
what a good
television.
steak is and doesn't eat meat.
Kind of like, what was it, Shifty Schiff, who like just puts cheese on a raw burger on the grill? Bruh, rookie move. Rookie move.
First, is there going to be any cheese left after he's done? Like that makes 0 sense.
So
You want the cheese in your meat, you put it into cubes into the burger patty.
this is kind of like what we were saying earlier, man. I was like, who didn't get pardoned that we could leverage to get them to sing like a canary? Because I want to know, like, who we could try and get in trouble for that Hunter Biden situation, right?
Just a side note to Shifty Shift. I feel like that should be like a thing on the resume a little bit. Like, you're going to lead a bunch of people, but you don't know how to grill a burger? And I'm still like, it's a small thing, but I feel like you just disqualified, dude. Like that's simple dad moves. If you can't do a simple grilling of a burger, how am I going to expect you to run a district for an entire state? Nope.
We're really into not throwing the baby out with the bathwater here, but it definitely makes me question things. Okay.
Like, oh
Makes
God.
me question things.
I mean, I'm sure I'm totally ignorant to some like weird, simple things in the world. And a lot of us are, because there's only so much time in the day to like learn so many things. But dear Lord. Oh,
Well,
man.
what that proves is it was just like, a video stick,
Well, it's the same as the Facebook guy years ago grilling, right? Or making wings or something he was doing.
I mean, also, if you believe he's doing that well, maybe that was their whole plan. Because, I mean, smart people they're going to figure out Shifty Shift's obviously shifty. So if they make a commercial that would be entitled to the person, or the meme guy that's like drooling out the side of the mouth, grilling a burger, those are the only people that are going to believe what he's saying.
So what you're saying is Nigerian prince scheme where there's misspellings in the email, and you're like, why would I believe this? There's misspellings. This is clearly a scam. Well, the whole game is they want to filter out smart people. So
That's what I'm
people
saying.
that wouldn't notice misspellings.
So I'm
see
saying
as
maybe
scam.
that was their whole thing. Like, hey, we got to get the dummies. Okay,
I don't
we're
even think that's a speculation. That's 100% how they roll.
They get somebody. They do.
they sure do, dead or alive.
So we have actual now updated evidence that oligarchs paid Hunter Biden to influence the United States.
No shit.
Now argues
Everybody
a
else-
criminal oligarch paid off the first son to try and influence U.S. policy while President Biden was serving as VP. Some new documents out there, and Chad Pergram's seen them. He is live on Capitol Hill to take us through this story. What now in the chapter of Hunter Biden? Chad?
So, I mean, like, didn't Biden just, like, a week before the inauguration, like, we've got scary oligarchs coming in, like, oh my God, look out, there's big tech oligarchs coming in to take out America. Like another projection, dude. Like, God bless.
Oh, dude, projection is just out there everywhere with these lefties.
And then I also thought this was like, you know, small internet, like, you know, inside baseball internet, like interesting. Because remember we were talking about the connection of Romania and the United States government. And then all of a sudden Andrew Tate was like the evil bad guy that they arrested.
Yep.
I swear to goodness, bro. Like the deep state Biden, like criminal, you know, family syndicate is in bed with Romania. And Tate said something where he was like, what? That guy said that about, hey, hold on, give me Romania on the phone. Where's that guy? You know, like it was just like, nah, you're gonna mess with him. He said something that ticked me off. Like, God dang. And that's a little bit silly, grandiose, collusional, but
I mean,
I also think it's kind of like, you know.
I mean that knowing that like knowing that every
but
security.
He was getting loud about like stand up for yourself, blah, 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 be awesome, man, F the government, bad guys.
I can't think it'd be that
So
standoffish
important.
of a plan, you know, since every 3-letter agency just apparently didn't know about a Hunter Biden laptop, even though anybody that could have an internet connection would know about it. So, you know.
So did you find out what Barron said to Biden?
I haven't figured out exactly what it said, but that'd be a good guess. Quick little.
Forgot to pardon yourself?
Yep, forgot to pardon yourself, buddy.
Okay, so I got one. I don't know if this is it. On the other page. Allegedly, this is lip reader.
Oh, some deaf people chiming in. Heck yeah, we need your.
Okay, this is what they say.
According to lip readers, Barron approached Biden and said, "It's on." As Biden gives a almost frightened look. Then he walks over to his mom, Melania, and she states, "Try and be nice," as she smiles. He says, "Okay." Then he looks back at Biden with that serious look. Biden looks scared. Wow.
Bro, he looks back at him like a gangster, dog.
According to
He's
lip
like,
readers,
I know you looking at me trying to mean mug me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he caught him right in the act.
Caught him watching him, yeah.
And I guarantee if there
approached-
wasn't shit in his diaper before that, there was after.
Where's the mute? I want to watch this again. Yeah, dude. So, yeah, it's on, allegedly. And then the face goes stark. Ah, shit. And then he totally did the, like, caught him looking at him, bro.
Where's he going? What's he saying now?
Like when you're staring at the
Oh,
chick and
he's-
she turns around to check on you and you're like, oh,
Oh, he's talking to her. Oh shit, he looked back.
look away.
I wasn't looking in your direction, Barron. No, no. I'm not shaking in my boots right now. Huh? Don't mind me. I'm just up here shitting my pants.
That's interesting, man. I don't know, yeah. What was yours? Like you forgot to pardon yourself?
Yeah, forgot to pardon yourself, bud.
Go for it. Yeah, very interesting that one, man. What did he say, man? That's we will never know, I guess, huh? Yeah, RFK was popping off and a bunch of people. Oh, what's this one? This is another one from you.
Yep.
Oh, is this like the same thing I just posted? Probably like this one.
Looking at every single
Oh yeah, I think I shared this one too, bro. This was a good one.
patient born in my practice. There was no cherry picking. There was no, we're going to exclude you for this or that. Every baby born was looked at, and we looked at every single office visit. We stratified them according to the number of vaccines they had. Okay. So basically, we had over 500 who had 0 vaccines, and then we had another 3,700 and some who had some vaccines. And what we found, Del, was actually even mind-boggling for myself. What I was clearly seeing was these kids don't get sick. They don't get chronic conditions. Well, the data spoke for itself, and you're showing your viewers the graphs. Those orange lines are over time, over that 10 and a half years, the more vaccines you had, the worse you were for whether we looked at infections, ADD, ADHD, neurodevelopmental issues, eczema, allergies. It doesn't matter what we looked at, even just plain old anemia skyrockets in the vaccinated when compared to the blue line, the unvaccinated. Wow. This data is so powerful. We were definitely looking at.
That's so bonkers, dude.
Yeah.
Like proof, blah blah blah. Hey, back check the store, like back check the science or something. But
Right.
Make sure it's good.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure Paul Thomas, medical director there, is just totally talking out of his.
you know,
Yeah.
but he's an alt doctor, so it must be false.
Yeah, yeah. He's not making the millions of, taking insurance money at the hospital. He doesn't know what he's actually talking about. It's almost like he's talking about like healthy children being healthy. Like that doesn't sound like something I want. I want the doctor that's making millions is gonna just like do whatever the pharmaceutical companies want for my child.
Bro, and it's not even like this one wasn't even just like, oh, we're talking about COVID vaccine. Oh,
All vaccines.
this
All
is
of
what
them.
makes people be like, you're an anti-vaxxer.
I'm about being a smart person. Sorry.
I'm
Like,
like 98% anti-vaxxer.
I like being not sick, and I like having my brain working functional.
Yeah, very wild. And then they're saying it's connected to like ADD and all that shit too, bro. I don't think anybody can argue. And then what do you know? Everybody blames it on social media. What a misdirection or some shit, right? Like, no, it's just social media. Everybody's like brain dead.
If it's on social media, it's misinformation.
I think social
Blah, 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 blah.
They're saying that's causing the ADD. Yeah. Oh, it's all phones and social media that's created ADD.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. Definitely not fluoride in the water.
Or people not writing stuff down back in the day either.
Speaking of
Right, yeah.
vaccines, I thought this was very strange. And so this is a great example of like us really big Trump fans aren't always like 110% like, anything Trump says is amazing. So Trump comes out and he's like, we're going to put a lot of money into this AI program, this AI for medical program. And now I'm going to have this guy talk. And this guy gets up and goes, yeah, man, this is going to be great. AI is amazing because AI can look at like
Larry Ellis.
can look at like two like pictures of like ear cancer and what bad cancer looks like and figure it out better and faster than like a human can.
Yeah.
But also what we're going to do here with this AI is the AI is going to be able to figure out the sickness or the cancer you have, and then we'll whip you up with your
super
DNA
specific
sequence,
vaccine.
an mRNA personalized vaccine that works the greatest, bestest. And it's like, that sounds like amazing technology, but I'm terrified because you already like
Yeah.
you scared the pooch with the whole COVID thing, bro. Like
yeah.
I'm like mRNA bad, scary.
Sounds like some screaming money for that guy if he can get it through.
But then also in their defense,
He's one of the richest people on the planet too.
Yeah.
also in their defense, isn't that our biggest concern and gripe about the COVID vaccine is that it just wasn't specific for people and it was given out blanketly, so that would cause problems. So if you had a designer vaccine that was made directly for you, it could be more successful, maybe.
You know that if it sounds too good to be true,
It usually is.
well, so far I'm not.
That sounds too good to be true. But
I mean, it's the key way how sex traffickers sex traffic the internet, technically. So then there's that.
mRNA, what? Oh,
No,
it gives
I was
them
just
more
saying when
ability.
you're bringing like saying, oh, this thing seems super good, but
That's
there's a
maybe bad
couple
water?
things.
I don't know.
That's
We
what
should
you're
just-
trying
We
to.
should just
That's
wood
what you're.
chipper them, right? Then everybody can use the internet fine.
I mean,
If we deport them back to
Good.
Mexico, that'll fix it, right? They don't have internet there, right?
if only it was perfect like that. It's
Big
not.
business. So yeah, interesting. So Trump's going vaccines again, which hey, a lot of us were critiquing him for shoving the vaccine into warp speed in the first term. So
Last time.
that's one. It's so far I've seen like one negative to like 199 positives.
Like how Wilk is saying is making a comment how birth control can stay in the system for forever. That is also the thing they've been saying about these vaccines. They've already been seeing people that have been vaccinated having kids. the DNA from that is now in the kids. So whatever they've done to us, good or bad, is now part of our civilization till possibly the end of our species.
And it's creating autoimmune diseases because your body's attacking it.
Yeah.
It's like a foreign
Yeah.
big thing.
It's almost like our bodies were created in this miraculous way where like we could fight off diseases if we were healthy through miracle ways or just understood ways of the world that weren't, hidden over years and years because we need to make money. Like the goal has always been to make money to pay for things. Now, like, well, everybody's like, good. Like I could just like make something myself, but I still need money, even though like we could make everything we ever wanted. For some reason, we just still need money. So how do we now make money? The only way you then go make money once things are good is to make things bad.
Yep. And like Wilkinson was saying, I've watched a whole bunch of videos where these doctors claim, like, yeah, literally, if you have like birth control for a week or two when you were like 16 years old, it still affects you, even when you're like old woman.
Yep.
And it's like absolutely bonkers. And then the one that I was watching that was the most interesting is they have scientific evidence that shows birth control is actually the thing that causes the bad osteoporosis in women, where we all go, oh, it's just part of being old. It's like, I don't think that's true.
There's got to be a reason that our life expectancy is getting lower, right?
Right, dude. Like, I thought technology and amazing.
You ever hear the study this guy finally figured out? This doctor finally looked at like all the mass broad bits of data about these old people dying from osteoporosis, and he looked at all their records of the autopsies of these people, and for some reason, all the old people that were prescribed calcium supplements, because you don't have calcium, you're not going to have strong bones.
Right.
These people were getting plenty of calcium in their diet, yet they didn't have strong bones.
Right.
So why? Oh,
not absorbing it.
yeah, but they found the calcium in the bodies. It was in the arteries and veins.
Yeah, no shit.
And the organs.
Yeah.
So they were calcifying. That's actually how they ended up dying.
No way. That ended up causing the issue.
Well, what do you know about calcium? Of course, if you don't get, if there's calcium in your arteries, you're gonna be decreasing blood flow, all that. And so the weird thing is you need like one supplement, vitamin K2.
Yeah, the K2.
And it's weird because once I found that out, I did just one little looking, and multivitamins are great. All of us are like multivitamin. Like I don't have a lot of time in the day. None of the multivitamins, like except for maybe a few of the like really good ones, like Athletic Greens, and like stuff like that.
Sure.
None of them have K2. The Flintstone vitamins don't. The Centrum Silver for men's, the one of men's, one of women's. Half of them don't even have vitamin K in it at all. So where are these people supposed to get their vitamin K? Oh, it comes from meat and dairy. Oh, wait, that thing that, there's this whole movement of don't eat meat, it's bad for you, be a vegan. And eat your vegetables, like don't harm the animals. Oh, it turns out you eat animals, you become strong, your bones and all. But, beef is bad because they fart and you're eventually going to burn up in the atmosphere because it's going to be so hot because the cow fart.
And it's rude to the cows.
Yeah, rude. You should carve out a ribeye steak and let the cow live so you can carve off another later because that's totally how it works.
Speaking of rude, I think it's absolutely bonkers rude that everybody knows that the Ukraine peoples are misappropriating funds. But we keep just shelling more money out over there, man, because apparently the Ukraine chief army psychologist was actually arrested on Tuesday, and they found that he stole over $1 million and kept about $150K at home for just a rainy day.
Man, we got him though.
Yeah. I'm like, hell yeah, man. And then hopefully you can scare people from not doing more shady shit.
It'd be worse if they didn't catch him.
Golly, man. Hell yeah. But man, this guy's living lavish, bro. He got that crib. He got the BMW.
Man, a whole couch feels like a little mini Wolf of Wall Street scene where they cover the bed with money.
He was just living it up over there.
He probably watched Wolf of Wall Street. He was like, I have great idea. I have a lot of money and that looks cool. I want to do it.
I do hate Rand Paul though.
I was sitting on my cash.
I met him once.
His pretty dope.
And met him at a thing.
Never meet your heroes, right?
I didn't like him to begin with. His dad's okay.
Oh, you like him less than the dad?
I like him way less than the dad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
They're
so
pretty, like,
I met
nice.
Rand at a political event back in the day, and it was right when he had an article come out where he was supporting red flag laws if there was strong due process checks on it, and that's just not how red flag laws work. You can't have due process and then laws that work before there's due process.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I met him at this event and asked him about it, and his security kind of brushed me away, and he ran off.
Man, you're just that much of a
Just like
googling
all
looking
do,
guy, huh?
Even
And
the
like-
guys we
and
think
that-
are on our side.
That was right when his neighbor kicked his ass years ago. Right about the same time, and I'm like, no wonder your neighbor beat your ass. You're a piece of crap.
Sucks.
Oh, I wonder what was there ever a story out why the neighbor whooped his ass? That would be.
Oh, the neighbor was supposedly a lefty, but like a major lefty that didn't like him because of politics.
They just got into it, and he couldn't hold his own.
Right. But I'm like, no wonder I'd kick Rand Paul's ass too. What a turd, dude.
I agree, though. That's not good to back those red flag laws.
No.
They're just going to be weaponized on people, so that's a bummer. That
There's no due process protection.
Did he flip-flop on
Yeah.
that?
Huh?
Was he maybe just trying to like play this
Briefly
guy
for like 2 or 3 weeks, but you don't even touch it briefly in my mind. You don't entertain that kind of thought.
Right, yeah.
Like give a bone, blah blah blah, some bullshit,
Some
play the
political
stupid
thing.
politics bullshit.
Either way, that was a dumb move.
I've seen his dad, and his dad's a lot more fun.
Yeah, sure. I like that they're both just like really anti-Fed and da da da.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
Right,
Some
right.
shit.
That part he seems on his head about.
Doge is official, so that's good.
Oh well, it's actually official now.
And
Official.
have you heard why Vivek's out? We don't have like the official, but have you heard the rumors?
For what?
What out of Doge so he can be governor of
Oh,
Ohio?
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
guy that didn't know what an AT4 was.
I don't think I know what an AT4 is. Oh yeah, talk some stuff he didn't know about. But what is also cool is that if you go over to the national debt clock here, usdebtclock.org. This is also a fun website we've covered on the show before, but pretty sweet. They have updated it to add Doge. So now we can watch our national debt go up in real time. And I've been told this is not the most accurate website, but hey, close enough, and it's cool. It's got a whole bunch of other shit on here, right? But we can also watch Doge in real time go up on how much money it's saving for us.
I was gonna say, is that how much it's costing or saving? Saving that.
How much is
crazy.
Doge up to? I still have like $100 in Doge from
Oh,
Doge
no.
the
7 or 8
point?
years ago.
Yeah, no, it's not separate, but
Oh, the Department of Government
Yes,
Affairs.
yes.
My Doge was making it away. Gonna get excited.
I mean, it was in recent times, but
The moon.
I mean,
Well, it's going up this year because this year's the bull cycle
Okay.
where everything's gonna go cray. Yeah. But right now we're up to 28 trillion. I think that number is. That Doge has saved us.
That's billion.
Oh, that's just billion.
That's billion.
Yep.
That one's trillion. 7 trillion federal spending.
Yep.
Yeah. There we go. That's how many zeros you need. We're at 28 billion. That's a great start. I'm into it.
A week. That's not bad.
First week, right? Yeah. Just getting started.
And 1 week, and they've already saved what California spent in a year supposedly on one problem, and hasn't seen anything come of it.
Yeah. So what's
Already
this one
better.
about? Bill Gates working with Trump, maybe, but then they're also talking about like something inside where Gates is trying to like screw him.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Gates.
Apparently, he had a meeting. And see, this is where you gonna see the side of, oh yeah, we just suck Trump's thing. No, there is we just think he is better than the other guy in a lot of ways. Definitely not perfect, because if he is allegedly he met with, I can't remember if it was, I don't think they even knew at this point if it was before the inauguration or after. But yeah, he met with Gates and that Larry Ellison guy that we were just
When everybody
watching.
was meeting with him, probably, like because like Trudeau came in and
Zuckerberg, and they're all going down to Mar-a-Lago.
Allegedly, they kind of had like a little fancy like dinner and all. I think it was at Mar-a-Lago. And yeah, basically talking about vaccine warp speed project 2.0.
Yeah,
Because Bill Gates would be involved. Yeah.
You said that's Larry Ellis?
Larry Ellison.
Okay, Ellison.
When's Trudeau done, by the way? Anybody remember?
He's already officially resigned, but yeah, when does he
He's
actually
hanging
get
in
out?
until somebody else takes over.
Oh, so you can resign, but if nobody else takes over, like,
You're just hanging out.
He just kind of
man, Canada gets a little sillier every time, doesn't it?
Hey, you guys know things like this. Somebody on the internet said like something like, "Oh, like Canada's great," and I was like, "Well, I don't know about all that." Something. And then he was like, "Well, Canada kicked our asses twice already, and we ain't nothing." And I was like, "Wait, what? When was that?"
So
did Canada kick our ass?
No, so people like to say that Canada did well during the War of 1812 because we went up there and burned some of their stuff, and then we left because it was kind of like non-feasible at the time. And then they're like, well, then the British came and burned down the White House. And I'm like, and then they lost, like still. So who really cares?
Yeah.
And
they said something about WW2, and I was like, "What?"
we weren't in
Canada
lost
involved in
consent.
that, like, right?
The last time the Americans went up there to fight Canada was the Fenian Rebellion right after the Civil War, like 1871 or 2. Or
So I was like, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just gonna throw an LOL and not waste time on this internet
when
conversation.
when people are silly, you just toss an LOL in there.
Yeah. See you later,
weirdo guy. Good luck,
But if you're not familiar, the Redacted's a great one to follow on the YouTube. See if you like their kind of flow. They're real good with dropping information and good insights on it.
Yeah, this one, just a side note, it was entertaining, not just informational, because that's his wife that does the show with him there.
Yeah.
And they were talking about
She's awesome,
they're talking about the inauguration, right?
Yeah.
And so they were talking about all the CEOs that were there, the big tech CEOs, and they were talking about, Zuckerberg, another guy. And then she was trying to ask where the girl, I forget her name, but the girl that had, all her cleavage out and a real like fine top underneath the suit jacket. And
Oh, you mean Ivanka Trump? His ex?
no,
Right?
I don't think it was
At
Ivanka
the
Trump.
inauguration?
Maybe it was, but I don't think it was.
It was.
But whatever picture where Zuckerberg and the guy over his shoulder just caught looking down at their cleavage. Well, so she was questionable on where she was sitting, and
the daughter? So it's the daughter.
but anyways, the wife was like questioning where she was sitting, and he was very, very sure exactly where she was sitting, and that he had to go in on. He was like, well, yeah, like it was like a beacon of hope, out there, like talking about, And so you were watching him basically glorify this girl's hotness, and she's just sitting there like trying to be professional on the video, like, you're in deep water now, mister. Like, cut it. Yeah. I was like, not only is this informational, this is highly entertaining now. This is great.
When guys put their foot in their mouth live on TV.
I can't argue with it. He made great points about it. He was like, how can you not? It's like a beacon for American hope right there.
Yeah, dude, wasn't it Zuckerberg who was like staring at her?
Yeah,
top house?
Zuckerberg was
was like-
directly next to her, like over the top. And then this dude was like between his head and the girl's just like,
The new AI they got for Zuckerberg or whatever they're doing to his lizard now sure is making him more people-like.
Yeah, he's conservative version now. He's like
Wait,
Zuckerberg
he's got, like,
3.0.
hair?
he's a little buffer because he does judo,
Yeah. His lizard is like
that upper.
Yeah, he's got the multi-million-dollar yacht to fit in with the other rich tech CEOs. That's seen a little bit more misogynistically, I'd say, over the time.
yeah.
Right?
I don't like telling people like they live under a rock because it's kind of like the rude version of being like, oh, you're busy, or hey, you just tune into the Truthercast to get all your updates of news, and you don't got to bother throughout the week. But if you missed it, this guy declassified the JFK and the RFK assassination and the LMLK files.
And-
So like, what are we gonna find from this? Hopefully everything's not redacted. Like,
And
yeah,
guess
send it in the
what?
past.
Trump is just such a not a nice guy. You know what he did after he signed that? This is what I think is the most important part of it.
Oh, the given.
He looked at the guy, the pen he just signed it with. He's like, give this to RFK Jr. Get it to him. And he is going to like put that on a pedestal, you know, like how that.
I'd frame box that for sure,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, like that. Like how cool is that?
Yeah, like not only if you're just anybody, how cool is it to have like the pen that signed the JFK files, right? But
Yeah.
then it's like not
You're
only is it
directly
his uncle,
connected
but
to
then
it.
it's his dad.
Yeah.
RFK's the dad that was assassinated.
Yeah.
That one's also crazy. People don't talk about that more often.
Yeah.
Like they knocked out JFK, and then like right after RFK was going to run for president, right?
He was.
And they knocked him out. It's like, bro, something's a little kooky here.
Not to
Right.
say that I like RFK much. His brother was cool.
Uh-huh.
JFK was pretty much cool.
Right. Well, I would have said I don't like JFK either, but then I think he got knocked out because he was trying to like. He was trying to like, wait a second, I think I got things wrong.
He started sniffing. There were swamp creatures in the office, and he was like, I don't know if I like y'all sniffing around in here. You don't seem like exactly for the betterment of the people. Like, seem more a little oligarch-like. And so then he was about to try to give us some more leverage, and they're like, hey, no, that's not what you do as president. It's the unwritten rule, but you didn't smell it, so sorry, you got to go.
And he said secret societies on TV. You're gonna get in trouble.
Shooter to JFK.
I mean, yeah, look at what happens when Kanye West, like, nowadays all the info goes on as as we know he's a crazy guy and says something about, you know, Hitler and the Jews, and all of a sudden everybody's all of a sudden he's painted as like,
Pretty wild, man.
when
I
he's
can't
just
believe-
doing what Alex Jones pretty much doing.
I
you know?
cannot believe he's following through with all the shit he said on the campaign trail, bro. So like again, like whatever if you don't like a Donald Trump.
Well, Scott, I know it's hard to believe somebody in political like range is actually not just selling the votes and saying he's going to do something just to get your vote. It's crazy. It's almost like he lives by his word.
And then maybe I'm biased because I didn't like all the other presidents, but I can't think of one thing any of the other
And-
presidents did to follow through on the
And
campaign.
the nice thing is he explained why.
Like, I'm gonna kill a bunch of people by
Re-
drone. He didn't do
remember,
that one.
remember his last presidency, he was supposed to declassify them.
Right, he did pull back on a few.
And he talked.
He only partial,
and he
yeah,
talked
right.
about it.
Yeah.
He talked about it.
He said
But
once
that's
he got
not
in
on the
there-
main news to let the people know. This dude is like just literally saying, "Look, these people, they're professionals, so I respect that because I'm not a professional, so I listen to their word. But you know, time has passed and it doesn't matter anymore. Time is time. We got to get it done." And it's like,
I fired them, so I couldn't even listen to their recommendations once I got in. I said, I'm in now, guys.
Yeah.
Are you telling me to not? Oh, you're not here anymore. I'll release
man,
them.
you know, one thing I would really be interested in.
Voted for again either. Don't care.
That's what I said was like, he's got to be soft the first term. Let's get him in second and watch him like flip the table.
I mean, when you
he
don't.
pulled back on putting Hillary in jail, blah blah blah.
Well, also.
if he doesn't go after some of these people this time, I will be definitely.
Also, game plan back then, he expected to be second term back to back. So, you know, when you're sitting there like that and you're like, well, you know, right now's not the time. I'm going to get a whole bunch of other work I can do in 4 years. And then when I'm in and like maybe I hit it on the next term if the people are still asking for it. And, you know, well, the term wasn't back to back, but he is probably still did what his brain was thinking back then. You know, maybe not now, but I feel like it's got to get done. And so now he's back in office like, well, if I don't do it, nobody else probably is. So it doesn't matter what the professionals say. We just got to do this.
Well, it's one of those things where I think it's too bonkers of a conspiracy theory for even my crazy ass. But like people are like, oh, they planned it where like he'd lose that election because now they've got the Senate and the Congress, and then also there's this much backing of people like and I'm like, dude, I don't think it was
Too much, man.
Yeah. Now it is great. It is a perfect storm. It is difficult, and I also find it difficult because I believe things aren't very coincidental in this world. But
when it's come to the president's seat over past decades. Yeah.
Some things are effing coincidental. Like, you're walking down the street and a bird shits on you, bro. It wasn't like a conspiracy theory. Like, it wasn't like God was planning and waiting and had that bird lined up for you. So
Yeah. And unless you were about to blow
they
some
went and looked for your hat, and the hat was dirty, so you threw it in the water.
you were about to blow some whistles, and it just so happened that one bird's poop was the only bird in all of Manhattan that had the new bird flu that was super toxic, and you just ended up being the only one dead out of it.
That's it.
Then I'd be back up coincidence. But that doesn't always happen. So
Another thing I cannot believe. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a big thing. So if you got a quick thing,
Oh no, I was just gonna say the CBDCs. He shut them down. That's crazy.
hey, good.
I was gonna say come out today at least what I saw that the new director of the CIA is saying that it was probably a lab leak for COVID.
Oh yeah, we're talking about.
Official camp.
Yeah, they finally
4 years
officially
later.
said it was. They were official on saying it was probably a lab leak. How official is that? Wow.
Probably, I think.
Wow, that sounds like an official statement. We're not really sure, but it's official. We're not sure that it was a lab leak. What? Why even come out and be? You might as well let us still just throw out the theories and the truth, which is what we already knew if you look into it. It went from U.S. over to Wuhan and got leaked. If not leaked out of the lab here in the U.S. on the way over to Wuhan.
Absolutely bonkers. Yeah, well, there was speculation of that too, right?
Yeah.
People found at the airport with a black vial, something.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know, but there was this
Lots
whole
of
thing
weird little
called
stories out
the
there.
Wuhan Virology Center.
Yeah. It wasn't just.
To the wet market with the bat.
Yeah. Yeah. It totally wasn't just. There's no Wuhan market at all. It was just literally Trump said China virus. So he just assumed it came out of China's butthole somewhere next to a wet market. No, there just so happens to be a. Hey, how you set up businesses in the nearest the best part where you could do it. Well, if you're making nasty viruses and there's been past experiences of these wet markets coming up with some gnarly stuff, wow. I mean, why not park your virology lab right next to home base?
Well, because wasn't how it worked. It wasn't that the virus was manipulated in the lab and the lab went to a bat and then the bat happened to be at a wet market. I don't know how bats and wet markets go together. But what it actually was they took a bat virus and then that was the originated thing that they then mutated crazy. And then that was just leaked. It's not like it went bat to lab to bat, and then bat to the rest of the, like it was like, no, bro, they were there. They took a bat thing and we're like, let's Bunsen Beaker maker it crazy. Like,
okay, bat, you got to be back here 600 tomorrow, sharp. Go.
That's like bonkers. Blocking the CBDCs is a gigantic big deal, man. We don't got to go too nerdy into it, but long story short, central bank digital currencies. If you're not familiar, go and look that up. And I think it's absolutely against the evil bad guys that want to control your money.
we want
control the world.
digital.
So this is insane.
We want
This is
digital currencies, but not central bank controlled.
in my humble
Just
opinion,
how our currency system is at the moment.
I think talking
with
about
regular
gold-backed
money.
money and sovereign money is what got every single president assassinated. Because there was
It fits the pattern.
or something. Right?
There's only so many things you can
It's the only thing they all
put
talk
on
about,
the checklist of what these presidents done, and it just so happens that is one of the very, very, very
Only thing they all have
few,
in
if
common.
not only thing they have in common,
Abraham
and
Lincoln, Green
and
Beret
they were deleted from the chat.
Yep.
Like-
JFK talking about gold-backed money, all of them, bro.
Well, you
Yeah.
got to think if it's all digital, they can, keep any transaction you want from happening.
Exactly why we don't want that at central bank, which is basically just another word for central government entity of
And then-
complete power.
And then if you're trying to say oh, hey, censorship, bro, that's you're stretching, right? Well, the big one that's really easy and you can't even wuss it away, right? They can literally micro tax every single transaction that happens because now it's a blockchain.
And guess
Now
what?
they don't even wait to get your taxes,
To a
yada, yada.
sheeple's brain, you make it sound very small. They're gonna, oh yeah, okay, that sounds good.
It's tricky.
I'm paying 10% tax here, but I can pay a 0.1. for every single dollar it comes in here, it sounds like I'm probably going to be making out on top. And little do you know,
I think there's no way we avoid digital currencies being the future thingy that we just happen to go to because, like, what, 100, 200 years ago, nobody thought we'd ever be using cash. You know, and then, like, what, like 50 years ago, nobody thought we'd ever be using checks or like 80. And then 30 years ago, nobody thought we were using debit cards, bro. Like, my personal mother was one that, like, used checks up until like 10 years ago.
the main thing
She
I'd
was just like,
say,
I'm not going to do that debit card thing.
the main thing is however we do it, not
can't be
well, the main thing is we can't rely on solely one. Because
Or a private
one thing
industry.
can get controlled, then ultimately, and then the whole system's screwed.
Yeah,
If somebody can have stockpile of gold, you can then have stockpile of dollars and stockpile of digital currency. Guess what? You're traveling down the road and you had to like move your family. Oh, what are you gonna bring? Is it super safe to bring your entire money with you? And if that's in one form, obviously that's not very safe. But if you can have some in money and say you're traveling across the internationally and there's a bunch of pirates in the way that are gonna know who you are because you're maybe that famous. Well, how do you protect yourself? Oh, you diversify. You got to put this in. That would be a perfect way. You have it in a digital bank. That way, once you cross the continental Atlantic, then you can hop on internet connection over there and then still have access to your money and not have had to have it physically with you to where then you could then not be dismantled of it.
Not to mention, you can only travel with $10,000 cash.
Which is, yeah. Mm-hmm.
To like stop money laundering or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's
That's their
also
claim, anyways.
interesting about that is the Knights Templar actually started the banks, and it was literally so you could travel without worrying about getting robbed. They were like, drop the gold off here, we'll give you an IOU, pick it up at the other one.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Thomas Massey?
He's all right.
He's kind of like a Rand Paul. I think he's like really awesome.
He's
but
a little bit better.
But I don't know if I don't know secrets about him or just things I haven't learned.
He
that
has
I'm like,
really cool Christmas cards.
Yeah.
Neat guns.
No, yeah.
Cool Christmas cards are always the
Well,
best.
he's really pro 2A. Now, what he brought out is a bill that says nationwide constitutional carry. But what pisses me off is why do we need a law to say follow the constitutional law, bro? Like how asinine is
It's
that?
almost like everybody's been trying to break the Constitution now for at least the last 4 years.
Dude, absolutely
Keep and
right.
bear are two separate things, and people don't realize that. Keep as in like at your house, bear as in take with you anywhere you want to take them.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
hard.
Be part of your body to brandish at whatever point you feel needed.
And it doesn't even say like rights about guns. It just says you can't take away my rights to have the guns. So, like, that's the other one that's wild to me. When that was like overly explaining to me, I was like, whoa, duh.
They're trying to be as simplistic as they could with their terms. From that.
Yeah, which back then in those times would have been understood. Okay, you can have a cannon. Yeah, John, you can have a cannon. Can you have cannon and intent to blow the White House down? Obviously not. We're not going to let you have a cannon. You want to have a cannon so just in case like something pops off and like you're going to like help us defend our nation of rights?
Speaking of
Well, then why can't you have it? So, which should exactly be how it has been. Like, you should have whatever firepower as deemed you feel fit for yourself, as long as you're obviously not going to be using it against the betterment for it.
Speaking of something,
Truth
Mr.
at the
Niltamir-
border.
Mr. Niltamir shared this one in the chat. Thank you, Mr. Niltamir. Speaking of in case something pops off, so what if they broke past the military and they were just like charging in here, infiltrating the country and your town and your home? Wouldn't it be a lot safer if we all had guns that we carried?
Yeah, it's almost like Texans have a lot of guns.
If you're
And
listening,
they
the
believe in
headline-
gun rights.
The headline here says U.S. immigration agents and Mexican cartel reportedly exchange fire at the border.
They do that a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Put a fresh one right now.
Generally, it's them across on our border trying to do their drug dealing and whatnot. And, well, guess what? Lo and behold, a cartel member is a criminal, you know. And just like how gang members will shoot at cops, well, they're not even from the country and they don't plan on getting stuck in the country. So they then will fire at somebody that obviously has a gun to fire upon them. And then, well, if you get fired upon, generally that gives you a good excuse that your life's in danger to then fire back. And so that's what happens.
Being a Border Patrol board tech guy'd be a busy job right now.
So you
Yeah,
say
yeah,
right
probably good
now,
pay
though,
too.
like right now, just the last 5 days, because you say that happens a lot.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Now,
It's gonna happen more often now.
a lot as in ever in the last 4 years, because
Oh, much.
Mhm.
in the last 4 years,
Yeah, yeah,
under Joe Biden.
yeah.
Okay,
But this isn't exactly. This is like.
They're shooting at people all the time.
Like a percentage compared to like ever before. Would it
Worry
be?
about a percentage, but the Border Patrol is up to
Well, like you're thinking
now
of
they're getting blocked,
you.
so now they actually
Well,
do fight.
what most people think is these people that have no weapons and they're just being paid by the cartel to get shuffled across, and they're not shooting at those people. They're shooting at the cartel members that are every once in a while going with those people, having to escort them to then their sex traffic pickup points, and they travel armed with fully automatic weapons all the time, and they're then on U.S. soil. What does the U.S. Cops and Border Patrol do if a U.S. person had a military-looking like weapon, and you don't know who they are, and they're pointing at you? They're probably gonna shoot you. So that's what's been going on.
In the cartel wars down there, they're starting to use drones a lot,
Mm.
like drop drones, like in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Damn, they got the drone tech now.
I mean, the thing is, like, anybody can have it. It's cheap. It's the cheapest way to do it.
So there's going to be a lot of stuff happening at the border in the next 4 or 5 years. And there's going to be active duty troops down there. There's already a bunch of Marines from the 1st CEB down at the border. Imperial Beach Border Patrol Station.
Right. We were talking about the EB regiment being they're mostly they look like they fit the part because they're at least 40-50% Mexican. Or is that the other one?
The Marine Corps is 40 or 50%.
Right, the whole.
But there's a bunch of guys from 1st Combat Engineer Battalion down at the border now, and they're talking about sending guys from the 10th Mountain. They're talking about sending guys from the 82nd Airborne. So it'll be busy, and I would say it'll be probably a month or 2 or 3 before you start seeing drone drop grenades at the border. And obviously, there's not border fence everywhere,
Right,
especially
yeah.
like what you see on the TV. So there's a lot of places where people can cross, and there's going to be a lot of firefights, I feel like.
Yeah, and a lot of woodland firefights.
Well,
It's
like
like
wetlands.
yeah,
Wetlands.
it's like
Yeah.
well, yeah. If they're crossing anywhere around the river where they don't have the actual fence up, which is a lot of area,
Mhm.
people think there's like just this wall that spans the entire way. Like no, there's actually just a lot of open land,
Yeah, bunch of open.
a whole bunch.
Not to mention that a lot of the time the cartel or the traffickers don't even know they're on the U.S. side.
Yeah, yep.
They don't have. They're not rocking like Garmin's.
Yeah, yeah. And these these ranchers aren't spending a bunch of money of their own to put
Yeah.
up all these markers to say, "Hey, you're on U.S. soil." Because guess what a rancher's
Yep.
going to do when he sees a trespasser
Shoot at you
on his
anyways.
land? He's just
Yep.
going to shoot
Especially
at
down
you.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You trying to steal cattle or
Not to mention that
whatnot.
most of the ranchers right down there on the border are of Hispanic origin anyway.
Mm. Yep.
So it's not even a racial thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't. Yeah.
Juan
Yeah.
A shooting at Juan B.
I busted my ass to come here legally. You.
Or my family's been here for 300 or 400 years, you know. and
Yeah,
Yep.
They're
Mexico.
not all brand new or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yep. There was even Tejanos at the Alamo back in the day.
Yep.
Yep.
I was gonna say, if anything, it's gonna be like a updated version of the Alamo.
Yep.
Nowadays.
But there's going to be, I bet you, 2 or 3 months we'll hear about the first drone strikes on the border there with drop drones, little
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 or 3 months. Yep.
Right. Crazy, nasty new
Tech.
new form of how we use the we never seen that coming. I don't think when the first kid made the drone, he's like, dude, like I'm racing through these buildings, and now like imagine what that dude might be thinking of, or whoever made the first drone is now possibly really depressed and sad because he's like, my tech was supposed to be for having fun with family get-togethers, racing through hoops,
Yeah,
and now
right.
it's just bodily membering people.
Welcome to the nuclear bomb, guys.
Right? Hey, this is going to be used just for energy. You promise? Because this could go really sideways. Yes, it will. All right, I've got the bottle up. Yeah, he's got it. And then
Go get him, guy.
Could you put that in a metal
Thank
box?
you.
He goes, I made it. He hands it over. Guy goes, thank you so much. This is going right into the reactor. There's just a curtain like at the doctor's office. They pull it back and there's just this giant nuclear bomb. He's like, thank you.
Cool. And then go ahead and put the rocket on it. Nuclear reactors use rockets?
It's because the nuclear reactor's just gonna be far in the atmosphere away from where it can harm people if it blows up. Yeah. Yes, totally. Go with that story. Just make it. Thank you.
My favorite one of the last week meme-wise is like, I don't want a Nazi in charge of space travel. And it was like Werner von Braun, the V2 and V1, or the V2 rocket guy. And they're like,
oops, daisies.
So on top of going ahead and just banning CBDCs, he also signed some order. I don't know what this actually means, but some order to make America the world capital of crypto. So I don't know if that was like
Right. How does that
Bitcoin
become a
trust.
thing?
I don't know if that's the Bitcoin trust, but they were talking about making a $15 trillion crypto trust of America.
oh my God.
To be like the national leader of crypto and things.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like a good idea to me. Because also, if that was a good asset to purchase and the value goes up, that we could utilize that to like pay off debts or like,
I mean, hey, we're
It's just not NFTs.
We're America. We're all about leverage. We're all about leverage here in America.
He's got his own NFT.
Yeah.
He dropped his own coin.
Oh, my
man.
God.
You don't know
What's his
that.
coin called?
Trump coin, baby.
Oh,
Man,
The
he-
official Trump coin, man.
I would have to.
The logo's fight, fight, fight.
What was it we were looking at months ago? And it was like all the Trump memorabilia. It was like cologne and shirts and boots.
Oh, that was just on the Trump store, wasn't it?
it?
That was just on his store, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He has an actual store of
One of
stuff.
them was the cologne. It was Trump
That was the.
cologne.
What was it was like they had like a primo version and the non-primo version. The non-primo version was sold out. And I think it was the shoes. Pretty sure it was the shoes.
The best part about Trump coin is when you ask Trump what it smells like, he goes, "Winning. It smells like weed."
Yeah. He's a good spokesperson for it. That's for
Find
sure.
the logo. It's just him with the fight, fight, fight thing. It's hilarious.
Oh wow!
Up to 30 bucks,
Kind of as if you were to
To the moon.
Yeah, I got up to like $70, and I was like, cool, and then dropped back down. So we're chilling.
Hey,
at
you
30.
know, it's all.
But I bought some because I was like, I don't ever buy those like shitty meme coins like
Right.
Ibu Inu, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
This
sure.
one actually is Trump's coin, and he tweeted about it. So like,
Which is probably exact same mentality Hawk Tua investors
coin.
went into, but
he's not Trump.
I was gonna say here's the main difference. Hawk Tua
is
girl
hot, though.
became hot and viral overnight, and in a week she had no show of Apprentice, no pre-presidential, steam behind her. She just popped up as a cute blonde and got popular.
Way down here, bro. Trump's ego's way up here.
And if
Trump ain't gonna stand for like, my coin's not very expensive right now. You need to be more valuable.
Yeah, one thing I would have to
Average, how we doing on the Trump coin? What's its value? Oh, that's bullshit. Get back out. Get out of here.
I just noticed the one thing where like he also handed this pen off that he signed that document with. So
The crypto one?
yeah.
No, he's been handing them all off.
Yeah.
Hands them all up.
That's a whole box of pens right there.
Yeah, and they're sharp.
Well, yeah, they're like a marker more like.
Yeah.
He likes a big signature.
First off, I'd like to nominate myself to be in the Department of Government Efficiency, and you and me, Trump, we're gonna have to slight talk about. That's kind of really inefficient, bud. You could sign like 200 more documents with that same Sharpie, and we're trying to save money here. I know it's schmeckles, but hey,
Hey, man,
Jew
listen to that.
influenced saver here, and
bro.
they go places, okay? Like a couple hundred schmeckles into the Trump coin
I'm upset,
will
bro.
boost it that extra dollar you're looking for.
I went
Let's-
Levi's and pickaxes. I'm the pen guy, dog. I'm loving it. We're in business right now.
I just had to show my Jewness off a little bit there.
Let's see if he's
My
the same when he
Jewness.
hands it off.
Oh, it is a. It's just a Sharpie.
Hold on. Play it back. We couldn't hear.
David, that's for you. Thanks. David, that's for you. Thanks.
David, that's for you.
Yeah, you can have that one too.
God.
I'm tired of being awesome, bro. Look at how many sign in. This is wacko. Now,
I mean, maybe
here's
there's
an idea
soon.
for you too.
Mhm.
So I find it difficult to. I like not being just like, only my guy's good. Blah, 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 right?
Sure.
So before Trump, whenever they like Biden got in and signed 64 executive orders, it was all, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. He's signing so many executive orders, and oh my god, I'm upset.
Yeah.
And then my guy comes in
You're like,
like
"Ah,
three times, and I'm like, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Oh god, man, life's so annoying.
I mean, like, yeah, you
Yeah.
can make the point,
So
but
what's the
also,
difference?
like, how many less executive orders would there have been if Biden hadn't messed things up so bad? Like, I mean,
Right. Oh,
you
no,
just
I
gotta.
like these. I believe they're good, so it's okay.
Right.
We can all just argue about it all day. I
You
guess.
can play the game of I like this, but you like that.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Because if
Like,
Biden had made 120 executive orders or 200 that were actually good for us, we wouldn't have been complaining.
I know, right?
But none of them were good.
Yeah, they were all just so trans people could use the men's bathroom and stuff
The
like
girls'
that.
room
Yeah.
and-
Yeah,
A man can use a girl's room and a woman can use a man's room, and
Very important stuff.
It's absolutely dire that the government funds surgeries for prison inmates that want to transition, because that's just the main thing we need to worry about.
Oh, here's a good one for you. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but if you join the military as a female, you get one elective, I think as a male too, maybe, one elective plastic surgery. So you can get bigger boobs if you wanted to.
You know what?
So just like a bonus.
That's a hell of a bonus. Good for the guys.
I'd say the recruiting department got together, had some drinks, and figured out how to get more female recruits. in.
Incentivization.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to quote Pete Hegseth here that says, women should not be allowed in combat
Yeah.
because they distract men.
Yeah.
But
Not to, I got personal
Hey,
stories even.
Hey,
You're right.
Yeah.
combat's a thing. Being in the rest of the military, they are better multitaskers than us. I would much rather have a woman
Yeah,
taking
I
the
put 'em in
orders
high
and making
ops.
or like
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh, they'd be way better than frickin' Jim going, yo man, they're 42 north, 73 east. 7 missiles over there. They're at 61. You
North.
said south, right? Like, oh no, crap. Like, oh no, we just got blew up. You were too late, Jim.
Not to pick on you also, but as a super overly literal person, right?
Yes, I very well.
Need you in that place where it's like, all right, I need you to go over there. Well, how many things do we need to bring? Are we bringing 14 things?
Are
while we
you
get
are
over
you
there?
sure?
Or,
Are
like,
you sure
does-
6
does
will
John
do it?
Did John get water, or we need all the things? Hold on, I need to just shut that up and over here.
Just do the thing I told you to do a minute ago. I'm
Well,
just trying.
coming over there, so I wanted to make it efficient
Just-
because I didn't want to waste everyone's time.
I'm just trying to make it the best here. Sorry.
Man, just get the
Not-
F over here.
not-
We're dying, brother.
Not to mention that every time a girl goes to an infantry unit anywhere, they last about, this is not even being mean, they last about 2 or 3 months, and then they make them work in the company office anyway. What is the point of that?
Yeah.
Because you can
Yeah.
say at least we tried.
I guess, but like
But I
they
mean,
get there, and even if they really care about it, which some of them do, they have to,
Sure.
right? Then their bodies deteriorate because of all the aching and all the heavy weight and all the stuff their body's not
or
designed
more
for.
like the mental stress. Of
And then
it.
they fall
That's the
apart,
main
just
one.
like a lot of the guys even do.
Right.
And then
Just
lo
like
and,
percentages,
lo
bigger,
and behold,
smaller.
bigger percentage.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, they're doing office fucking work anyway.
Totally.
Like,
The girls have
What's the point?
thought, what am I doing here? I could be doing something else way before the guy
mhm.
out there. Basically, because honestly,
Not
how
to
a
mention-
lot of us will end up there because, what else am I going to do? No, this is just the thing I do, and I'm going to do it. So, it sucks, but I'm here to do it.
not to
They
mention,
go, this sucks. Like, I wish for warmth and a hot coffee back, with a little TV show on. So
not to
not
mention
trying to,
co-ed military barracks.
say they're all like that.
Co-ed military barracks, especially co-ed infantry military barracks, work about the same as you think a co-ed dorm at a college would.
It's almost. Oh wait. Are
Girls and boys do the girl and boy thing.
Are you saying there's boys and there's girls and they both have different hormones that make a woman and a man, and they end up wanting to do things but that only can happen between a man and a woman?
And not
the
to
women that are in the military, I would
Whoa.
probably bet that they have a way larger testosterone value than a normal woman, and that testosterone makes both sexes just want to bang.
Kind of almost.
I was at a co-ed barracks for a couple months at one point.
Yeah.
And it was like a.
He was like, "You gotta get out of here, bro."
No, I was like, "Thanks for the gift. This is fantastic." And we all had barracks girlfriends. It was the
Like
best
I was
fucking
saying,
thing.
like, the first week you're like, "This is great," and then also you're like, "I can't do my job, man. Nah, man, put me back into separate one."
Well, like,
No,
and-
I can't control myself.
Like-
Okay, dude, like,
Yeah,
It was the best thing ever. It was at Edson Range in Pendleton, and I was a crucible instructor. And all the girls there were like supply girls that were like, it was permanent personnel barracks at like a training area. And all the girls were in supply and all the dudes were in like rifle marksmanship instruction and, infantry style training and instruction. And all the girls were supply and they lived on the second floor and all the boys lived on the first and third floor.
Oh,
And
they
so-
sandwiched them right in the middle. That was the worst move they
Everybody
could.
had their own girlfriend. It was easy. You didn't have to leave base if you didn't want to have sex.
It's a good compartmentalization. You know, got men, women running around at night trying to pull it off anyway, like a dorm. or
Right.
something
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
you go downstairs.
Yeah,
You're fine.
and a
yeah.
topper to your point on the they probably have higher testosterone, yada yada. So it's probably even more. The Olympics, all high class athletes are known for having just banging like crazy before their events. So that's you put two people with like high working chemicals and just like their bodies are working at high tier. Yeah.
Didn't they even have like anti-sex beds at one of the Olympics and they just banged on the floor or something instead? Yeah.
Something. They'd probably go to the local diner and bang in the bathroom if they couldn't at the rooms.
I
Yeah.
had a picture of like Margaret Thatcher or something like on the ceiling.
Old Maggie, dude.
I'm not familiar with this one. Do you guys know what the global minimum tax was?
Nope.
I had no idea what this is, but apparently Jenny.
We had enough worry about what our taxes are here to worry about what the global tax.
I've been way
was.
too busy the last 5 years.
I know.
Yeah, paying our own high taxes and inflation.
So apparently Janet Yellen signed away American corporate interests, the European Union in 2021 with the global minimum tax, and it was just a disaster waiting to happen. And so that was a 15% minimum global tax rate prevents future presidents from cutting taxes, targets U.S. companies, and lets the EU countries raid American businesses. Like, what? This is basically like an anti-America law.
Well, I mean, one, it's Janet Yellen making it, so not surprised.
Yeah,
Also, why is Janet Yellen always yelling all the time? Like, she fits right into her name way too well.
Yellen, they call her.
Yep. Oh, man, she just needs to tone down and go yell at her retirement home and just keep it over there. Get out of politics, retire.
Nancy Pelosi's stuck in a wheelchair now after the hip break. I
Well,
don't like laughing at people's misfortunes, but she's kind of a horrible person. That's
are her investments still singing?
That's
they're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, still follow that Twitter account. It posts all of her yeah, so I think this is probably a good thing. I'm ignorant to what this is, but all of those things that it was hurting us about, yeah, we should probably get rid of those. So now it protects American businesses, sets up retaliation against foreign tax grabs, and tells the Treasury to void Yellen's agreement, and we're going to void that, people. We're going to void that.
Yep, sounds like a good thing to me.
Yeah, another all right, Daddy Trump, cool, sounds
Like, it's almost like he cares about our wages and our business.
Making America great again. Oh, dude, I think this is the response they should have sent to Panama, bro. Like right here, they should have just sent this.
Have a problem with that? You know what you should do? You should sanction me. Sanction me with your army. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have an army. I guess that means you need to shut the fuck up. That's what I would do if I don't have no army. I would fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Like, you know how,
Eh.
Could have been one response. I don't know. Maybe not
Oh,
the official
welcome to the
response, but-
cast,
you
Thorny
know how
Velcro.
easy it was to beat him 35 years ago?
Oh yeah, and
Panama? So
and
easy.
insanely.
We got Noriega in, what, a day or two? And he's in jail in Florida still. Like, come on, man. Quit
Yeah.
kidding yourself. We'll just put you in jail in Florida.
Yeah. Florida, right next to soon to be the Gulf of America.
Yeah, bro. No, he signed that order too.
Oh,
How does that even work? I'm not even sure exactly how that
know,
works.
right, bro?
I mean,
Hey, called Gulf of America.
Do we just call it that and then everybody else will too? Or it's like,
I mean, that's how it works usually, right?
this is ours now. Okay.
Everybody
most
said
part.
cap, and then all of a sudden now everybody says cap.
Sure.
yeah,
That's how language works, I guess, right?
Yeah.
yeah. It's almost like Trump is influencing culture
Don't it
more
touch-
than the left thought they
It touch
could
more of the
influence.
U.S. anyway, don't it?
I think so. But
Yeah, like shoreline wise, I think,
Yeah.
right?
What happens when you just type it in?
Gulf of America.
Does it show me a map? Maps does come up. Come on, man. Zoom me in.
Uh-oh, boo. Gulf America Wire Rope Incorporated.
I bet they recently just made that company. They're like, yo, we got to get the name on before. We're just off our name. We're going to.
Quick LLC that ish.
Nope. Boo. It's hard. It's like almost 50-50.
You have to measure it out, right?
Yeah, you'd have to really measure it out.
I
I say it's ours anyway. Who cares?
I mean, generally,
yeah.
like Chappelle just reminded us, right?
I don't.
Wouldn't it be as simple to say whose military is bigger, and then you name it that?
Also, well, bodies of water are generally a little bit like international water laws.
Is Cuba? What's Cuba?
So
It's its own thing.
they're
Yeah.
independent.
No, they're in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's its own country.
Cuba, yeah.
Yeah.
It's classified a country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Are
Cuba's
they
a country,
still
yeah.
communist or not? Is
But
the
then
main
somehow
question.
this is like a territory on the other side of everything, so something's confusing.
Now the thing with Cuba is Castro just kind of, you know,
We
Is-
call him Trudeau's dad.
Kinda
bro.
yeah,
screwed it.
Trudeau's dad,
Screwed
yeah.
it. He kind of screwed up.
Pierre Senior.
He screwed the pooch on.
But
on
yeah, he was a douche. But yeah, you'll notice how he never even tried to attack Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, no way.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just some like thing that you can look into is like, wow, they never did attack Guantanamo Bay, and we've been there the whole time.
Almost like it was an inside job.
Almost like he was just a giant puss.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
He just was all talk, no show.
But
Yeah.
one thing I'd say on how we could classify who's got ownership of the Gulf, how many Mexican companies are taking oil out of the Gulf?
Not as many.
Is there any Mexican oil company?
I have no idea.
I don't know either, but I
Definitely
doubt.
not more than us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be the main point of things. So scoreboard, we got more oil rigs in the water. That is ours.
I think we get to make the English language maps anyway, don't we?
Right, yeah,
They can make their Spanish language maps if
yeah.
they
and
wanted
they can
to.
call it whatever they want.
Yeah.
From teach the Mexican kids that is the
Actually,
Gulf of
gentlemen,
Mexico.
I just
and-
signed an executive order. We make all the maps. We have AI make the translation version. Don't worry, we've got we'll take care of it all.
It's fine.
Some Mexican engineer is like Gulf of Mexico.
Nothing.
It changes, and then all of a sudden, within half a second, it changes. It erases itself, goes back to America. Wait, what? No. Types it again. Mexico. Just change back. Ah! What's going on?
And technically, Mexico's in North America anyway, so who really cares?
Yeah, when does spelling correct change it from Gulf Mexico?
I believe we let we ended up calling it an end in the Alamo. Otherwise, we could have just continued to keep venturing south and said, "No, you're America now."
No, I mean, technically, we did beat Mexico in the Mexican-American War.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Went all the way down to Mexico City and took the whole thing, and we're like, we don't want it, here you go.
Yeah.
And then we invaded again to go get Pancho Villa. Ended up not finding him anyway, but killed all of his guys.
It's like we
could have just done it again, and we could do it again now.
It's like we got
And,
down there.
Yeah.
We used our eyeballs. We went, wow, there's a lot of AOC type women around here, just not with the whole yippy yappy like ignorant mouth. And they make great food. we don't want to like ruin this. You guys
they're-
keep that.
they're
and then
all up
we're
here
gonna
anyway.
Trade nicely with you.
Yeah.
We don't want to decimate the big booty Latina population.
We still have Santa Anna's leg at a museum in Illinois.
Oh yeah.
You know,
really?
Santa Anna from the Alamo. We still got
Yeah.
his leg at a museum in Illinois.
Oh wow, we're gonna have to go to that museum.
Laugh at it. Douche.
Look,
this one you got here, Dan?
your leg. That is Pritzker and the mayor talking about how they're going to be breaking federal law and not help ICE and stand in the way of ICE of deporting illegals from Illinois.
Oh yeah.
They are defying Trump's orders.
So breaking the federal law, one might say. Pretty wild, man. Do you think the citizens are gonna like that?
Only the brainwashed ones out of Chicago that vote for him.
Whatever he
Well,
says, I agree.
90% of the people that vote for him in Chicago are going to get flipped by the $750 ICE thing anyway.
Right. Yeah.
No joke.
Good point with that, right?
Yeah, that's pretty.
Forgot that's the thing now. That's $750. I'm gonna have to travel out there, and there's a Home
Make some
Depot.
money.
There's a Home Depot off Cicero Ave that I can guarantee I could make at least $750 a day off.
Mm-hmm. And you see that for work for the next 4 years.
Right? Yeah. What do you do? I decided to transition jobs, and I generally stop at Dunkin' Donuts to beat the crowd of guys that show up to the lot that I work at. I got to get there about 5 a.m. I get my coffee and donut, and then I show up to this parking lot, and I just make some calls.
I'm a government informant now.
And then people disappear. They get hauled off, and I just make money.
I'm a finder.
Yeah. I'm an observer.
I should probably take my own advice. When that friend I was talking about earlier posted something, angry Trump. I hear a lot of angry anti-Trump people having baby fits all week, but but if bringing home hostages and ceasefires is what's terrible to these people, I don't really care anymore, man, because how absolutely brainwashed they are to just hate this man, whatever that is. I think this kind of just washes that all away, because when he gets the Israel hostages completely released from Hamas and they get to go back to their families, and he's like finding children that are being human trafficked.
Oh, it's just like at the end of his presidency, at the end of 2020, when he busted all these the biggest bust we'd ever seen in human trafficking.
Yeah.
And guess what? You didn't hear about it unless you were
like
looking.
14x of Obama.
Yeah.
Absolutely bonkers. And I think that's like what really matters or something. Now, what's tricky is you can't just use this for everything he does into the future, I guess. Like he's going to do something I don't like, and what's the level? But bro, if this is what you're trying to feed me to do some shit that you want to do that I don't like,
right?
You got some wiggle room, butthead. God dang, man, because bro, 4 years and Biden couldn't get these hostages, and then it's just like, bam. Absolutely crazy, bro.
Here,
200 Palestinian prisoners. That's crazy.
Well, the thing is
They
Israel.
weren't even all American.
Israel traded 200 Palestinians for 4 Israelis. That's what happened. Yeah.
So that was the deal.
Well, then that's part of the deal, and obviously people are going to complain about Israel and Gaza, and we don't have enough time to go into that because that's days and days worth of conversation.
Those people actually more than likely hate that Israelis got to go home to their families.
Yeah.
They are only proud for the terrorists
The
that
hostage
get
takers, yeah.
released back to their home country to then try to decimate more innocent people and children.
Yep.
Because they believe that Palestinians are just super lovey-dovey people and would totally
Victims,
accept,
even though they do this.
which is the most
Yeah.
ironic part. All those people that believe that, for the most part, all would definitely not be accepted and murdered on the spot
By
on
them and
Palestinian
all their,
soil.
all their backers as
Yeah.
well.
You wouldn't even be murdered nice. You would be
Murdered bad.
skinned alive, hung, tortured.
Did you see the other one going around that TikTok was banning any pro-Palestinian talk?
I haven't heard that one because I thought they were
TikTok,
about the.
Is it banned or not banned right now, TikTok?
It's not banned right
but
now.
Google still didn't put it back in the store.
It has a 90-day stay for the current moment is what it is, because it's not
'Cause they're gonna
Trump.
work a
Trump
deal,
didn't.
they're gonna work a
Trump didn't
deal.
like bring it back, but he said, "Hey, it's not gonna just be off the market right now."
He
We're-
pushed the ban. Right?
Yeah, we're trying.
pushed it.
We're trying to let you use it while we still gain our leverage over the app.
Isn't Elon going to buy it? That's the story.
I heard Elon, and then also Mr. Wonderful was talking about going to buy it with some other kind of an investor that wasn't Elon, but there's talk of a few investor guys that were going to buy it, and so far that has not just fully gone through.
Chinese
Yeah,
communist propaganda.
Well, so the conspiracy theory is that when it went dark, we actually just commandeered it, and then now it's pro-Israel, anti-Palestinian, so that's why any pro-Palestinian talk is completely 100% banned on it. But then TikTok came out and said, "No, that's not true, bro. Conspiracy theory."
Fun.
Yeah, because it's probably true.
Yeah.
Just over in China, there's probably just a bunch of pro-Palestinian.
Well, I guess TikTok's banned in China.
Well, the thing with TikTok,
They don't even let their people use it.
TikTok in China is all just like math and.
That's what I
science
heard.
and-
But then today I heard that it's just completely banned.
Huh?
So I don't know if that was like a new
I feel
thing.
like that is propaganda.
I don't know. Complicated.
They're trying to get those China sympathizers to go, "Oh, Trump banned it, and now Chinese people can't even use the TikTok. Listen to how horrible it is."
Not that I'm going to go to China to check it out.
So what do you
Yeah,
guys
no,
think?
I would maybe want to go to Beijing just for food and to get a bespoke suit, and that would be it.
Do you
Those
guys
are the two only things.
do you guys think this is a good receipt for when someone's trying to argue that they don't believe in false flags by the government?
What are we looking at? Here?
Memorandum for Secretary of Defense, Joint Chiefs of Staff are considered the attached memorandum for Chief of Operations Cuba project, which responds to the request of that office for brief but precise description of pretexts which would provide justification for U.S. military intervention in Cuba.
That from the early 60s?
Man, that's a great question of the day.
I'm pretty sure I've heard of that before.
But this was like us false
16
flagging on
March,
Cuba, right?
March 13th, 1962.
Yeah.
62.
So, trying to get rid of Castro, and they were going to do some terrorist attacks in the U.S. and blame it on Cuba.
Right?
Yeah.
Wait,
So
whoa.
100% false flag.
That almost sounds
Great receipt for people when they try to argue that.
I mean, that's
There's
Not
no
that-
false flags.
I can't
Not that
say
we don't want to get rid of Castro anyway.
I can't
Right.
say that doesn't
Again, tricky when
sound-
your side does something, right? False flag good.
I can't say that doesn't seem somewhat similar to another thing in our kind of more recent history.
The old 9/11 connection.
Yep, yep.
I mean,
yep.
yeah, wait till that
smells
classified document's
kind of
released.
similar.
Well, they say that what was it? The Bay of Pigs was a false flag, and then Pearl Harbor false flag.
Well, the people like to say about Pearl Harbor that are like, oh, but we took the oil away from Japan, so why wouldn't they attack us? I'm like, well, that's not how that's supposed to work.
Yeah, right.
Because Japan was getting starved of oil because we stopped giving them oil. And they're like, why wouldn't they attack us? If that was like, if somebody took oil away from us, wouldn't that be our cue to attack them? I'm like, no.
Not necessarily, because
and then
we're
the
the
Bay of
biggest
Pigs-
producers.
The Bay of Pigs was something completely different. Bay of Pigs was just trying to get Cuban nationals to retake their country for themselves, and they
That
failed.
was Cuban related. I forget
Yeah.
that.
Oh, all the people that invaded were Cuban.
Interesting.
And they were all the same Cubans that are still living down in Miami and stuff.
Cubanos.
Who all voted for Trump because they don't like communism.
Weird.
Crazy.
Like, it'd be nuts if you sailed away from a country on a makeshift wooden raft and then voted for the same policy.
And then voted for the same shit. Yeah.
I really liked my raft sailing.
Right,
across
that was
the-
cool.
Dan, your cackling Kamala video was taken down.
Oh, what? Oh, that's some bullshit. That was a good show. She was such good cackler in that one.
I hope she
all the most
never goes
unneeded
anywhere
points.
again.
She's trying to run. The rumor she's going to run governor for Kelly.
Oh, you know what's funny? Hey, you know what's funny? When we were on our long drive, we were out in the middle of nowhere, only farmer town, right? And
Yeah.
the one town within 50-mile radius is like storage unit place
Had a Kamala Harris.
had a
behind.
billboard Harris Walls sign out. They're like, wow, that aged well, didn't it?
And they had to take that dumb.
Yeah,
shit
when are
down.
they going to take that down, I wonder? And it farmer country, right? Then the next sign you see is a Middle Eastern looking guy that was what, a lawyer? Doctor promoting himself on a billboard. Like,
Right behind it.
how much you want to bet he funded both of those signs?
You know, probably right.
Yeah.
And the funny thing with the Harris.
And I don't know how he's in
was that
business
it
around them
looked
parts.
so new, like they put it up after the election.
Yeah, it looked really
It
fresh.
was like
It
really
did.
nice. It was
Yeah. Yeah.
not weathered at all.
They didn't take it down right away, like all those social media videos
Oh,
of the Kamala
man.
Harris supporters ripping down their joints, like right the day after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's some coverage of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Cali fire update
Oh,
with
yeah,
Trump and Karen
Trump
Bass.
punking the Bass lady here.
Where's she
in
mayor?
their
of?
homes.
Cali.
Mayor.
Oh, Mayor, L.A.
I believe it's L.A.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris.
And they can.
You
and
should
they are
let them
able
do
to-
it because
No, no,
by the
they
time you
can do
hire
that.
contractors, it's
Right.
going to be 2 years.
If a family
People are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves,
and they can
there's
do
not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
The city hires some demolition contract
If
that's going to
individuals
charge him
want to build-
$25,000 to do his lot.
We think
Would be stipulations.
Funding to Los Angeles because of its sanctuary city policy.
I want to see two things in Los Angeles: voter ID, so that the people have a chance to vote, and I want to see the water be released and come down into Los Angeles and throughout the state. Those are the two things. After that, I will be the greatest president that California has ever seen.
So Governor Gavin
Bang, bro. He's going to make a deal, baby. He's going to make a deal.
Oh, the deal maker making deals.
And then here
Who
he
would've
is
thought?
with Newsom himself.
Not just the folks in Palisades, the folks in Altadena that were devastated. We're going to need your support. We're going to need your help. You were there for us during COVID. I don't forget that.
It was so bad, even the news media bashed him for bending the knee, as this was after he wasted time during a tragedy to Trump-proof his state.
Well, the Trump proof is someone else's words, not ours. I think it was rather prescient. We're already engaged in lawsuits, in litigation. He already is assaulted the 14th Amendment as a birthright citizenship. I think there's a likelihood of additional lawsuits as it relates to some of his executive actions, and we didn't have time to wait.
Likely because
It
Trump
is a bit of a tangent, but he also dropped birthright citizenship. And I was like, dang, that's kind of like shady. Then I listened to everybody explain it, and I'm like, nah, I'm an idiot. That's like, no one else does
You
it.
can't go to France
It's
and have a baby and then they're
crazy.
just a friend. Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no. If
That
you,
is such a
well,
dumb
well,
rule.
No, well, no, it's because people literally can't understand what they're reading.
Yeah.
It's very precise in how it's worded in the Constitution.
Yeah, yeah.
Birthright citizenship from citizens.
Yeah, yeah.
That, like, if you were an American and you have a baby here,
Right.
they are an American.
Right.
Hence, they were American before.
Like the
That's
hierarchy
that's
thing
the
of
key,
complication.
That's the key word that these people can't let. Like, they read right over. They're like, "You're born in the United States. You're a U.S. citizen. That's the magical thing of the U.S. That's our gift to the world." No, it says right there, American have baby in America. It is automatically American. You don't have to do anything special to then give it citizenship, because we understood you have to do special things in all the other places of the world to become a citizen.
For the logical people, I think it's called the transitive property.
while the Democrats just have to sit there and thank him for it, as Trump didn't hold back at Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass.
So I signed executive directives right away so that we could cut the red tape, we could get people back building as fast as possible, and we're going to continue doing that. We
Yeah, the one thing is they
Yes.
are saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope
That
you're
will
right.
not. You can hold me to it.
There's 4 groups said that.
No.
They should be able to start tonight.
That will not be the case. You know, first we have to take care to make sure that there's not getting rid of the hazardous waste, cleaning things up. We absolutely need your help. We need the.
Bro, what is hazardous waste in a fire?
First off, they keep. Why do they look like children? Hey, mom, dad, I messed up and I need help. Can you like help us out? What?
You got to remember
Maybe
too,
if they didn't spend $40 billion
And that's
of
just-
money that went nowhere
And that's just
towards
one
this
thing.
homeless problem.
How much other money for all the
Yeah.
other thingies
Yeah.
have they gotten that's
Yeah.
blown away?
Yeah,
Like
they
climate
they
change,
totally
something.
could have been prepared, but they weren't. It's
not to
just
mention
shitty leadership.
hazardous waste in California is not what you consider hazardous waste everywhere else. You guys all remember it was at
Plastic straws.
well, the Prop 66. This is known to cause cancer in California. And
Yeah,
that's
right.
The sticker on everything you ever see.
Yeah.
So hazardous waste to them could be
Wood.
literally anything.
All them nails and the wood in there.
Melted paint.
Yeah, right.
Like-
That's hazardous. Yeah,
That's
sure.
crazy.
I'm sure, yeah, if you eat it like a, you know,
Or like
a
put it in
big
a
old
bag with your
complete
like
dummy.
head or something.
Yeah.
Like
But
Federal help.
Californians, I wouldn't be surprised do that. At least the LA people, like they probably are. So they got to look out for people with 2 brain cells, just hashing it out, raw dogging it at life.
well, the homeless do it, but it's called getting high, bro.
Got it. I told you, you will have no permit problem. There will be zero delay. And as far as I'm concerned, you already have the permits.
And the resource.
I am more worried because I met at least 8 groups of homeowners, and I'm much more worried about the fact that they said it's 18 months exactly. What's hazardous waste? I mean, you're going to have to define that. We're going to go through a whole series of questions on determining what's hazardous.
Nope.
I just think you have to allow the people to go on their site and start the process tonight.
She's
And we
literally
will.
just saying whatever sounds good on camera.
The people are all over the place. They're standing and they say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit. And the permit's going to take them, everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
We can't even see our homes right now. We are blocked from entering our streets. We can't even, this is our first time we saw our house, was yesterday.
It really sounds like they were planning on dragging their feet. And
That's crazy, dude.
Oh, I love how the people showed up and then called them all blue-faced liars right to their face.
And then we have a great president that actually backs it up and lets them talk.
I
Because if
don't-
it wasn't for him, they
well-
would have probably been like, "And we're done here. Like nobody
Yeah.
talk.
I was
Like
gonna say,
we're out."
he
like,
had a hard time letting Karen Bass kind of make some rebuttal statements.
right.
The only thing I'd say, I bet, I know you watch the show, Trump, to maybe I know time is crucial, but you know how you let people like lead themselves to slaughter? Oh, guarantee you let her talk a few more words, she'd just say a whole bunch of lying crap, and she would have definitely made herself look 10 times more stupid.
I don't know if they
More
were
than likely, she would have said a bunch of lies, and he would have went, "Oh, it's funny you say that because that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie."
I don't know if they were like low on microphones, but the guy next to her ends up grabbing her microphone.
And if I can just defend FEMA a little bit.
Yeah.
They brought thousands of people in. I don't know how they're doing in other states. They're doing a good job for us here. But if Rhode Island has a Palisades disaster, are they then supposed to keep?
How many people do you have in California? 36? How many million? How many million people do you have?
But
you have 40 million people. You're not going to get a few thousand people. The problem with FEMA is they come from all over the country. They end up in arguments with your people from California because they want to do it a totally different way. And I can live either way, but you haven't gotten very much done with FEMA and all you have to do is look at North Carolina. It's one of the great disasters of all time.
And now, Trump is considering straight dismantling the agency. As why do we pay so much money to get such little accomplished?
Mr. President, without your help, they're only going to get $43,000 from the federal government, even if they have a half
Well, you
million dollar
did something,
loss.
Brad, where every insurance company in the country left California. That's why you have no insurance, because you made it so impossible. People that think like you made it so impossible. And you know,
Brad, me?
every
Mr.
insurance
President,
company.
I don't know.
Because right before Trump came to LA, he visited the victims of Hurricane Helene.
To me, that was not really acceptable.
Has the insurance company been responsive or not really?
Not so much. And we need some assistance with that. We reached out to an attorney.
What's the name of the insurance company?
North Carolina Farm Bureau.
So one,
Dude,
that hurricane.
Oh, dude. When
What's the name of the
I watched that
insurance
Trump,
company?
and that dude was at home just sipping his cocktails, and he was like, "Don't say the name." He said, "He was like, oh shit, yo, John, yo, get to the office right now. We gotta change all these files. Like, give them all full coverage. We never, and backdate it. They never didn't have full coverage. We were the only company to actually give them insurance. Make an ad, everything. Holy shit. We about to lose all our jobs. Like, that dude's just freaking the fuck out right now. Absolutely. I love how he asked for a specific name. Like, that's how you know he's down to business. He's like,
and he's a gangster. He knew just asking that and getting that live would be like oh, hey, heads up, bro. I'm gonna get you.
He even asked, I don't know if it was even that or something else, but they were asking for money from some places, and he found out these certain banks were specifically not funding more conservative party people.
It was at the actual WEF, the World Economic Forum.
And so he was let me get the names of those banks.
The CEO of Chase Bank was on, and he called them out on the world stage and was like, and by the way, I hear you're not giving banking to conservative people. And he was like, no, we're totally not doing that, man. Nah.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was like some inside boots. I thought it was some inside shit because he totally like dogged on the I don't know if it was Chase, man, because that's Jamie Dimon or some shit. But it was one of the big ass banks, right? And he calls him out, goes, hey, you're not giving banks to conservatives. And when it was his turn to talk, he was like, hey, man, your friend John Smith said hi. he said hi.
He didn't even talk about the subject. He just
anyway, no, we're totally gonna do that. Yeah, we're totally gonna do that. But I was like, bruh, he either like genuinely was like, I'm a friend with your friend, so be nice to me, or it was some low key like, dog, I'm gonna come at you, not like I think I'm bigger than you or something. You know, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder who that is. But staying on the topic of California, man, I thought we'd go over the Orange County, Rainbow Coalition treasurer of the Democratic Party, because I don't know, man. I'm a human, and I just recognize patterns. Well, what about you guys?
You're an observant human, at least.
There's Republicans probably that have gone down for
similar
bad child stuff, but for some strange reason, it seems drastically in a bigger proportion that Democrats are bad people that harm young children,
that like the younger folk in odd ways.
So if you're listening, the treasurer of Orange County Democratic Party and the president of the Orange County Rainbow Coalition was arrested for possession of child naughty images and
trying to meet up for naughty stuff.
Good Lord Almighty, bro. And meeting up with a 9-year-old kid, which is absolutely bonkers if you ask me, man. Some people might say things like wood chipper after that kind of a deal.
I don't think I got it into the feed. I'm not sure if I did. I don't think I did. But the guy that did Dateline back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Have a seat. Why don't you have a seat?
Yeah, bro. I don't know if I got that in the feed either.
They've already done more work than
he teamed up with ICE.
Yeah, he's been doing more work than Biden's ICE did the whole time. And he's one day?
They 6 to catch a predator, and I believe it was 5 of the 6 were criminal aliens.
Yeah.
And they showed up for a 15-year-old girl. One of them showed up naked.
Yeah, he literally just showed up I don't know if he was naked, but he literally showed up and then got butt naked in the living room.
Bonkers.
my favorite.
Christian Daylight. Well, you're already taking a seat, so listen here.
My favorite is when they used to do that show, and it would be people like dressed as bushes outside, and then they'd run out of the house, and then the bush would tackle them.
That's the to catch a predator.
Yeah, but now he's doing it migrant style. It's to catch. Oh my gosh! Like, just what first smart business move? We had to catch a predator. Now we're having to catch a predator.
Okay, we got it.
Version.
Good friend of the show, Liberal Hive Mind, has the coverage on this one, folks. So go and follow Liberal Hive Mind and build yourself a better news feed.
Oh, play this out.
And Chris Hansen, why don't you go ahead and take a seat right over there?
Go ahead and take a seat.
But I'm not going to do this.
Take a seat right over there.
Yep, Chris Hansen, the man who single-handedly strikes fear into creeps across America, is
The $50 was for con chica 15 años.
No quería.
No quería.
No quería.
Her niece was 15, and you said you wanted a from her, and we're going to pay her $50. Are you here in this country legally? Do you have U.S. citizenship?
Soy ilegal.
But you came here, Marvin, for con chico 15 años.
No.
You could go back to Honduras.
No, por favor.
In Genesee County, Michigan, Sheriff Chris Swanson's ghost team and I did an investigation. 2 illegal Hondurans showed up in the same night among the other predators. Both had been in this country before, gotten kicked out, sneaked back in, and got arrested in this sting trying to have sex with a child. And I can tell you, in the week that's passed, they've already been picked up by ICE on a detainer, and it's the quickest they've ever seen this happen in the history of Genesee County.
Well, from all
And this is what you need to go to the locals.massstash.com community, pull up and share to the people that are crying about, oh, evil, bad Trump, dude. Like, I don't care, bro. We're taking down pedophiles and criminal aliens that have done crimes, got deported, snuck it back in, and they're still trying to do pedophilia stuff in America.
You know,
This is horrible.
I'd have to say, you know, I mean, did they even know it was wrong? Because all those people probably seen up in that point was, you know, Biden's daughter's diary and how Biden does things. And they're like, oh, president of the country goes for young girls, underage girls. Okay, I like your country because I like to do that too. I'm gonna come do that. Oh wait, this wasn't allowed in country? I thought because leader did that, we could do that.
I think that's what the Democrats call a dog whistle. So when, you know, Biden says, hey, everybody come on in and, you know, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get a certain type of people, right?
Yeah, must have been that.
God dang, bro. Yeah, this is absolutely bonkers. And then, I don't know if I shared it, but there was another one where, is it Hammond? How do you say his name?
Who?
The border czar now?
Oh, I don't know.
Only Hammond I can think of right now is Mark Hammond from Top Gear.
Hammond and Dr. Phil teamed up to do an ice raid, and so it's like
Chris Hansen.
No. Hammond, the new border czar guy, right? So Dr. Phil was like interviewing this guy that just got caught for like trying to, you know, get underage kids and is now going to be deported. Can you imagine being an illegal and the last thing you saw was Dr. Phil? So you get back there and they're like, "What happened to you, man? I thought you were over in America." He was like, "No, man.
Dr. Phil got
Dr. Phil got me. Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil got me, man.
Some people are probably gonna go, Adam Ray? Adam Ray got you? Not that Dr. Phil.
I thought this was hilarious. Donald Trump posted, from 2012. When I was 18, people called me Donald Trump. When he was 18, Barack Obama was called Barry Soweto.
Weird.
And the whole Soweto thing, bro, is deep, bro. That's a deep ass rabbit hole. That guy was a big, like, wealthy guy, and he just like adopted Barry, kind of like super interesting conspiracy rabbit hole. Was this one? No, this is another one. Yeah.
In Chicago, too.
Tom Hammond's first arrest in Chicago, Barack Obama's hometown, where he ordered $65,000 of hot dogs and pizza. Remember that one?
Oh.
During Pizzagate, Barack Obama had a house party at the White House, and they had $65,000 of hot dogs and pizza. Later, the emails that we obtained from John Podesta, which started the whole Pizzagate ordeal, right? We found the code words hot dogs and pizza in sentences that would tell a CIA or FBI child trafficking specialist that they were most likely talking about trafficking children.
Yeah.
So what do you know? We catch a whole bunch of illegals. Here it is, Dr. Phil.
Hey, so I'm not trying to incite any bad activity out there, but hey, you know, those guys that don't exactly like to do the legal things, if you just say you're moving pizzas, they're probably going to turn a total blind eye to you, not even know you exist and what you're doing. Just
Boy, you pulled the wool over their eye. Proposed constitutional amendment would allow Donald Trump a third term.
That's what the talk is. They want to make it where he can have a third term. Not Obama, not Bush, not Clinton, none of them, but Trump.
So are you guys familiar
And
with
only Trump.
Futurama?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, if he gets rid of the IRS, bro, I'd probably vote for his brain in a jar.
Right? Yeah. Like, great presidents, we need to keep that around. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, see, I think with Futurama doing that, I think there already is a vat of presidential brains in jars. in the undergrounds of the White House.
We'd be better off if they listened to them. So they're keeping all the bad ones around.
They probably have the good ones.
Can we get like Washington and like
They
Andrew
probably got
Jackson?
those off in
and-
like the high clearance levels. Like you can see the other ones, the bad ones.
Well, that's why they assassinated Abe, because they couldn't keep the brain in the jar quick enough.
They didn't want his anyway.
Eric Trump just confirmed that the United States-based crypto projects will have zero capital gains, which sounds absolutely bonkers. They're going hard on this like America crypto thing, bro. Could be good.
It sounds like Bitcoin might make that bull run pretty soon.
I mean, it was already estimated 750,000 before all of this pro-Trump crypto shit and like the $15 trillion trust. So like, it's probably gonna blow past 750,000, bro.
No financial advisor, but I'd say you might want a little bit in Bitcoin if you have some spare schmeckles.
We're not medical professionals. We're not financial advisors. We're not, but I'd say we're pumpkining, man. That's all I got for you tonight.
Yeah, we are pumpkining. Do you want to chime in on
any wrap ups?
Any Russia Ukraine things? What Fugazis might be over there, or is that going to be a long tangent?
That'd be a longer tangent.
That would be probably a long one.
Really excited to see what happens in the next couple months there. That'll be fun. Whether it's good or bad. Read some stuff today that the North Korean troops that were in Kursk are already getting pulled out. Not too good for them. They were doing like human wave assaults and that wasn't working.
Right, like you were saying before, where it was like the bad military leader guy, where they're just throwing people at the.
So they had a bunch of North Korean soldiers fighting in Kursk in Russia there, and they're just human waves, and they were doing like Korean War era tactics.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't that be the only thing North Korean military people are good for?
Yeah.
I don't think their military is very skilled.
No, and they killed a bunch of them, and they pulled them out already. So that whole project was probably for nil.
And where was that fighting happening at?
In Russia.
In Russia.
What?
On Russia territory.
What if Putin was
So
like,
it's
I don't think
almost-
this is a good idea, but he keeps calling and he really wants us to use this guy, so I don't know what to do.
Well, see,
Like-
the weird thing about that they're fighting on Russian land is it's almost like that border that he put out, like they have all this Ukraine land, isn't quite accurate because they have been fighting on Russian land. What was Russian land before
Well, he
all
didn't
this?
put it out.
Well, I mean, if they took the territory right now where it's at, Ukraine has lost like 20% of its total landmass. And if they cut it up and said, hey, this is where the new borders are, Ukraine would also have part of Russia. And
like a little give or take, a give or take.
yeah, like kind of like let's see, what war am I thinking of? Kind of like the Korean War,
Sure.
where they ended it right about on the 38th parallel, but South Korea got a little bit more land than North did. So it'd be kind of like that, even though Ukraine's on the back foot of that, of course, because
Well, so that you could say like, what was the point of it or some shit, but then like Russia wanted the port, so like.
I mean, they didn't get any ports. They're not doing anything in the Black Sea. They moved all their ships down.
That's what it was that the map was
outside of
saying,
Russia.
Was they got the actual like everything they were trying to get, right?
No,
That's what Tim Pool's little
Chart
map
that
was
he pulled
saying.
up,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So Tim Pool's
I
already
didn't
been
take a
found to be
screenshot of that, but
sponsored by RT.
no, that's not true. That's fake
it
news.
is.
No, it's not.
Um,
He was taking money from them for posting content that he was already making, but that doesn't mean he's
Yeah.
being
Not-
told to say things.
Not good. Either way.
Slightly
But,
suspicious. It seems like
I
he
don't think
still
that's
talks
suspicious
a
at
little
all.
more.
You're gonna take money from people that like want to give you money to push your content. So like, yeah,
I wouldn't take foreign money.
because then it makes you get looked and painted.
you wouldn't
as
take
this.
money from somebody that's not from America.
Nope.
Interesting.
What am I going to
But,
do with Russian dollars?
Yeah. So
Well, they'd pay you in American money because we gave them the money, right?
RT. I don't think we give any money to Russian news.
Right, but you just said you wouldn't take any foreign money.
No, I personally wouldn't take any foreign money to spend any agenda.
Like you wouldn't take dollars given to you by a foreign entity.
No.
Interesting.
And so basically what happened so far in the land grab is this is going to be very simplified. Russia wanted the whole country. They thought it was going to end in 3 days. Then they said this is going very bad. Hopefully we can hold on to the one regional capital we took, Kherson. They didn't hold on to Kherson. And then they're like, we just actually want Luhansk and Donetsk territories. And they're making gains in the east, like they always have. And then Ukraine went and invaded Russia proper, took some land in Kursk. They've been fighting there since August, and Russia can't push them out, even with the, meat wave North Koreans.
Yep.
And it's basically a stalemate, and it's going to continue being a stalemate until either Russia loses a bazillion guys doing a giant World War II push, or it's going to stay where it's at, or the U.S. and
Or like
EU,
escalation of some sort.
and it's going to get escalated. and
Everybody
we'll
will
see.
get involved again.
What do you think Trump's going to do about it?
So I think he's probably going to do the same thing he's doing with Colombia right now, where it's do what I want you to do or giant tariffs.
Which would be the better way, because then we're not just murdering people and something
mean,
military.
It's almost like a
industrial
diplomatic
complex.
approach. That way that all these Democrats cry that Trump never has done and he's a dictator and all these things. Yeah, he
Like
keeps
almost a
doing
more
these
sophisticated
things-
way to
he
solve
keeps doing
problems?
these things through not just blowing a whole bunch of more shit up.
Like a more caveman way of doing things.
Yeah.
But so we'll take all your money if you don't do what you want us to do.
Right. Diplomatically.
And we'll see if that works, and if that works, there's going to be a bunch of EU or NATO peacekeepers in Ukraine. I heard numbers from 50 to 200,000
Like, what are they? Just more like
border guards.
bureaucrats or something?
No,
border guards,
soldiers
like,
on the ground.
Okay.
border patrol.
So
type
Russia
of-
doesn't attack. Kinda
Not
like,
bureaucrat peacekeepers like military.
Kind of
No,
peacekeepers.
yeah.
just kind of like because Russia's always had them at their border. They have people with
I would. I
military
think we should
high
have them
grade
at the Mexican border.
right,
We
which
do.
we
And the
now which we
and the
now
Canadian
do
border.
because we have
But
proper
it would
administration
be
back.
it'd be a third party country because Russia doesn't care about attacking Ukraine, and everybody knows that. It would be Poles and French and Germans and NATO troops.
Finns.
Finns, sure, maybe. I don't imagine any Finns would be there because they got to guard their own border. But
I guess you're right.
maybe
Ours
some
is
Swedes. I don't know.
smaller.
But it'd be
They
other
don't have
countries'
big
troops.
militaries, right?
Huh?
They don't have big militaries.
Finland is pretty big. They got
Finland and
conscription.
Sweden. Right. But they're
Um,
actually tiny in the scheme of things.
Well,
Like,
compared
just
to
the whole
like
country
us and
itself,
Russia and
right?
everything, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So they're not going to be like, let's get rid of our guys. We got to keep our own home base.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
or something
basically,
like-
what the plan would be is to have EU or NATO peacekeepers there from countries that don't border Russia.
Mhm.
So no Polish ones, although Poland has a very small border with Russia.
Which they're very f off. We're taking care of our own shit.
Yeah.
And then
So
they're
it'd
not
probably-
letting anybody in. They got a super close border.
Yep.
So it'd probably be French guys, German guys, British guys, maybe Americans,
Mm-hmm.
and that'd probably be how it will end. But who knows?
Would
Every
that
day
be a
is new day.
successful team, or would
Yep.
that just be a bunch of idiots altogether?
I mean, NATO does pretty well everywhere, so
Yeah,
I
what's your
imagine it'd be
take
a
on
pretty
NATO?
Successful team, huh?
What's your take on NATO?
Other countries should give a lot more money to it than what we do.
Yeah,
But you
because-
think it
because
is a
we're-
good thing?
because we're the-
Yeah.
we're
You don't
the-
think it's corrupted? Like
I
most
mean,
large.
I'm sure
entity
there's-
I'm sure
thingies?
everything can be corrupted, but it's a good team
overall?
to have overall.
Like you don't think it should be broken down and started over or something?
I don't know. Breaking something down and starting it over right now would be kind of pointless.
Sure.
Especially when we're on the verge of World War III, because we
Mhm.
didn't. NATO came a thing to try to keep the world wars from happening.
But that's
That's
tricky because
the
that's what I
World
feel about IRS and a lot of government entities,
Mhm.
not even military. It's like, yeah, no, they do. They've now been corrupted to where they do more harm than good.
Mm-hmm.
Break it down, start a new version. Like start small.
I don't
All,
know how
all companies get too big and then they get
Yeah.
too big for their britches and do shady shit. Da 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 da.
I don't know how corrupt NATO would be. I've never looked into NATO corruption,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I would say NATO troops on the new border, whatever the new border is, whether that's back to the old border or some of Ukraine's gone and some of Russia's gone, or what.
But don't they lean like global order agenda?
I mean, you'd think the EU does. NATO is
They
kind
do
of-
100%, right?
Yeah, NATO is kind of more of a not UN, not EU. It's just
Because yeah, UN's
organization.
absolutely bad.
Yeah, UN's bad. EU's probably bad.
Okay, so your take on NATO is not quite 100%.
NATO
I
is
think I
just
was
a
thinking
military
more UN.
alliances.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And sharing commonalities with stuff.
Yeah, basically, like we're
Right.
not your enemy country, so like if you need some help because you start getting hit on by another country,
Yeah.
we'll probably go help you out.
So why does Putin hate it so much?
Because they're antithesis to Russia. They had the Warsaw Pact, which broke down when the Soviet Union fell.
Mhm.
And that was like their version of NATO. And Putin hates NATO because it's the West.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically, 'cause, well, Russia did
He-
what they
he wants-
did at the end of World War II.
Yeah.
But we still had to make NATO to make sure
NATO,
the,
OPEC, yada, yada.
those commies keep doing their thing over there.
We want Western
Germany's
hegemony in the world, and he wants Russian hegemony in the world. That's why he hates it.
And then our Western version of hegemony has changed, though, so it's
Mm.
difficult for many of us to get back behind that.
Sure.
Like now that Trump's in office, I heard the military signups have just like gone off the roof.
Mhm.
People are like, "Oh, hey, I believe in this." You know, Pete Hegseth and a Donald Trump. Like, yeah, sign me up, bro. Coincidentally, the dude I know that's what's the word when you're trying to get people into the military?
Recruiter?
Yeah. The dude that I know that's a recruiter, he came in and he was like, "Oh yeah, it was like night and day, bro." I was like, "Hey, yo, call up all those dudes. You remember those dudes we were talking about that were like on the line, blah blah blah." And like,
Get 'em
no,
all.
call them all up.
Yeah.
They called them all up and they were like, yeah, no, I'm in. Okay, yeah." I was like, "Bro, that's crazy."
It's
Like, what do you
because-
know? You get a leader, and all of a sudden people want to follow.
Well, somebody that wants to make it where because
Like where
being
you
a-
actually
being
feel
a-
useful and have purpose and like
well,
doing
you
something. like-
doing what most people should never have to witness in their lifetimes to keep the freedoms, because freedom's not free for us back home. They now see the results for their purpose. When Obama and all of them were doing the thing, they were over there starting to find things out, because internet became more of it, and they started looking into conspiracies. They're like, what is the point of me being over here? It got really wishy-washy, and then suicide started, because then you are literally over there risking your life for purposelessness.
Well, and then arguably,
So
bro,
why would you want to do that? He
you don't
puts
even-
purpose back in that a lot more. Like, not saying there wasn't ever any purpose. Like, there was always some purpose.
but it
being
waned
in-
drastically under a Biden administration, man. Like,
Yeah.
100%. So, arguably, though, you'd say you wouldn't even have to see those things if people believed in it enough to join, because then less people would fight you if you had a big, mean, scary-looking bunch of people in the military, right? Like, if military big and scary, then you don't even get to the fight part.
Well,
You go like, "Bro, we're gonna wreck you," and then they're like, "Yeah, you're right."
Ask certain militaries that
Kinda
had
like
never met the Marine Corps before until they did.
Kind of like Teddy
They-
Roosevelt was talking with the speak softly, carry a big stick. thing.
Right, 100%. Yeah,
It's
and our
like-
stick we get very tiny.
Yeah, you like get a big stick, and they're gonna be like, never mind.
Right. And then like a business or something, right? So if the bottom level employees are all gone, all we have are like heavy tools to be used to like succeed and achieve goal. So now we have to use like big bombs and super murder people and civilians by casualty accident instead of like have a lot of fighter guys on the ground looking like warriors that are going to be difficult to deal
that
with.
was mostly
Modern War is a whole 3-hour discussion or day-long discussion. We
Yeah,
can have.
100%.
Yeah,
but the big, scary, bearded-looking guy is not going to do you very well against the FPV drone racing kid
Yeah, you're right.
anymore.
Yeah.
So you have to have both, but
And the
you know.
bombs were kind of a thing to have less soldiers' lives in the way of harm.
Well, that's why the
Like,
drone tech is out the roof now.
yeah.
The unmanned vehicles. They just finally admitted that they have that. What's the Blackbird plane like
The
oh no, the
B-51.
SR-72.
So they just,
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Lockheed. They just admitted that they got the B-52. That it was the plane that
Oh,
was
the-
in the
So
new Top Gun movie.
The new
Oh, you're
iteration.
talking the that's not the B-52. That's kind of like an SR-72 kind of
That's
thing.
yeah, 71 and 72. So
71
71 was the old one.
really badass and cool.
Yeah, yeah,
72
yeah.
is supposed to be the new.
But it looks a little old, and they decommissioned it like 90s or something,
Yeah.
like 80s, 90s.
Mhm.
And so they just admitted that we got this like 72, and that one's like manned. But then they have these other ones that we've known about
They-
for a few years that are
they-
like they
they-
kind of like that, but they're unmanned.
They decommissioned
Wild.
the 71.
In the
They
90s.
decommissioned it in the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, I think they did because they probably had this 72 back then
Yeah.
already. Like, and now we just find out about it.
Lockheed Skunk Works has been a thing for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying, bro. So I think they had that shit back like 90s, right? When they swapped it out. And then now you see it 20 years, 30 years later in a movie, and then they admit it publicly. That's probably the old tech. It'll be decommissioned in 5.
About 71 is doing some things since the
No, sure.
No, you're talking F-117s that are still doing some things.
Oh.
The old like crazy fucking 3.
It looks like a triangle.
Yeah.
Like a Dorito. No, I'm
No.
talking about SR-7.
Yeah.
No, that's the bomber.
Oh, the F-117 is a bomber. Yeah. Now we're gonna get into plane autism.
This one's a bomber. The triangle
where's
one
my
was more
dad?
of a bomber, I thought.
No,
this one was more
that's
fighter.
a reconnaissance plane.
This is what I'm talking about.
They had a fighter version and never used it, and then the F-117's a bomber.
And then this is the new one.
Yeah.
Which has been in the works for the last 2 decades.
And the best part about the Top Gun.
Well, they just admitted it exists.
So the
kinda
new
thing.
Top Gun movie, right?
That was this one, yeah.
When they had that one in it, that's what China thought it was, and it's the funniest fucking thing.
Yeah.
So China was watching the movie like, oh no.
That's what they say. I'm like,
what
there's
they
no
got.
way they really were like that, but
Well, if you've seen China's jet,
Not too good.
and then yeah, what's the name of the bomber one?
The F-117 is the one that.
B-51.
Yeah, the F-117. Then they got the
Oh,
B-2.
B-2, that's
Yeah.
This one.
So that's the flying Dorito ship.
Yeah.
That guy on the left. That's the flying triangle in the middle there.
Bomber triangle.
This is the one that
Dorito ship fighter.
This is the
No,
one
that
that
was a bomber too.
This is the one that my dad actually has stories of, like, he couldn't talk about shit because he got onto the project and they were doing shit out of Sunstrand here, and it's like, small world.
Oh, so Sunstrand's been doing a lot of government contracting work, especially
In the
when I was
past,
about
when it existed.
yeah, I was gonna say, especially when I was about 15, because I live not far away from it, and I would be up in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden you just hear this crazy whistling weird
Yeah,
noise.
well, they
and
make
you're,
jet
and you're
engines,
just
yeah.
like, you stand outside, you're like, where the fuck is that coming from? And you realize it's them testing they always tested the military grade turbines at night because there was less people around the facility to possibly see.
They made F-16 engines in Rockford.
Yep.
But
I seen the room that they actually test them in. Very impressive.
The F-117 is really cool because that's the one everybody thinks of as like the stealth bomber.
Yeah.
From like childhood, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they retired it from service, and then just kept using it.
Right.
And that's what like all the plane geeks have been talking about the last 5 years. And the F-117 is still getting used for like real world missions, even though it's been retired since like 2015, or some plane geek will hopefully hop on and
Correct
get
it.
the right year. It's like 2015 or 16 or
And
something.
our favorite one, Warthog's still out there
Yep,
doing
it's still
business.
there.
It's like the most old school out of all those, I'd
That
say,
guy was
because it's
making
got
some
a-
hits in Syria when the whole HTS thing was going on in November.
Yep.
Yeah. That's funny. They hit like an ISIS, or no, it wasn't an Assad government truck. It was like an ISIS, like grad rocket launching truck in a mortar position. It was saw him flying.
Yeah, you hear them.
Yeah. Yeah. That was in November or December. That was pretty funny.
Warthog go Bert.
But apparently, we're even building some new U.S. bases in Syria.
Yeah, oh gosh, no way.
Yeah.
Almost like we're
Another good
asserting
and bad
dominance.
thing. Yeah.
And
we're spreading democracy, dog.
But wait,
that's what it is.
Wait, that doesn't make sense because I thought Kamala said we had 0 troops anywhere in the world.
Anywhere else.
But I think
Ignorant.
the new Syrian government also got rid of the Russian lease at the Tartus Naval Base. And we'll see what happens at their, like, Kimmelmean something air base. That'll be another funny Russian loss.
Too bad.
Well, that's all I got for
Yeah.
y'all, man.
Yep.
We are
Any other wrap up?
We were pumpkins, and then I
I think we
pumpkin
got-
dust another 15 minutes.
I think we got a fresh new troll in the chat. They like my look, so thanks, troll.
Awesome.
I
That's
wish
all
I could
we
see,
got
but
for
I
you
can't.
tonight, folks. Thanks for joining into the Truther Cast here. Make sure to join that locals.massdash.com community. If you got a computer, that's signup.toleratetech.com. And make sure to share this out to one friend, family, or possibly some kind of a troll that showed up, you know. And then next week, we could double the viewership. But other than that, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you in the next one, folks.
All right. Golly.
All right.
All right.